Hello, my name is Rudolph Okonkwo. This is a special edition of 90 Minutes Africa. We are coming to you live from New York City. My co-host Chido Anuma is off today, and today is a special episode. We know that yesterday something happened in Abuja. Something very small. Let's take a look at something that happened.
Oh boy, Abuja choke! Abuja is a highly obedient! Protest.
All right, that's a little bit of what happened yesterday in Abuja. Now, we have elections coming up February, and Wednesday, the campaign will kick off officially. So anybody can campaign properly and do anything they wanted to do. And it's going to be an interesting few months before the election. We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss the various campaigns and what they are planning and the plots and the intrigues. It's going to be interesting. Joining us to do this is some of our friends, and one of them is Mazi Ezeoke, the CEO of Njenje Media. Mazi Ezeoke, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Rudolph, from having me from this part of the world, from the motherland. Thank you very much.
Oh, you are. I didn't know where you were. You're everywhere. I don't know where you are. Wherever you are, we're happy to have you anytime on the show. I know you've been watching the political situation in Nigeria, and Wednesday everything will be, people will stop pretending, because we had a guest on the other show yesterday, and he said basically that why he has not moved is because the campaign has not officially started. So by Wednesday, nobody will have an excuse. People who have money will bring out the money. People, everything will happen. What happened in Abuja yesterday?
Well, what happened in Abuja? I wasn't personally in Abuja, but I had a lot of communication with those that were on ground in Abuja. For instance, I had a conversation yesterday with one of the organizers, whom I actually had a program that I did have with him prior to that, rally. I had a conversation with the area father himself, that is a Charlie Boy Oputa, who said that the event yesterday in Abuja was more than he could have expected, to the point that he said, Mazi, this is beyond what I expected. I have never seen this level of, crowd before. Now, it is good to come out. This is not political rally. This is just basically Nigerians coming out saying, enough is enough, we are tired. However, in nowadays, I think those who came out, those who are coming out, we collectively as a people, as those who want things to change from the old order to the new one, must also do everything possible that this number of people that come out translates into number of votes. Take, for instance, if people are calling for 1 million man march in all states, and if the person they're all coming out to support has a minimum of 1 million in all the states, that will be breaking the record. And I don't think there is any political party that is able to do that feat. So, can this 1 million march translate to 1 million votes? But again, the key highlight there yesterday in Abuja specifically was of the newly wedded couple that joined that rally. You can see the excitement in the young lady that got married, and immediately coming out of the wedding with her wedding dress, and she still just straight went into that rally, and she was so happy and excited. I pray, and many of us did this, so that let that excitement be what is going to excite Nigerians, that the low life and the level of the Germans would say kaputness that we see in the Nigerian polity, that things changes come 2020, 2023, that things would take a different trajectory. So I think, again, it's not only Abuja yesterday. I hope you haven't seen what happened in Kano. You haven't seen what happened in Kaduna. Actually, Kwara as well. Kwara was a very big one. But at some point, the newly posted the commissioner of police, because this is the report I have from those, the coordinators from those states, saying that they had police clearance, but 6 hours to the point of convergence, the commissioner of police basically said they have order from the state government to ensure that they are stopped. So eventually the rally didn't go as planned in Kwara, but they did show some strength as well. It's it appears that in some states where these things are happening, there is a pattern. If you think of Lagos, where they had to go to Lagos, now in Kwara, you can add the one-on-one together and you see a pattern and an answer that might interest some viewers.
Okay, we are going to get our viewers join us soon, just in a few minutes. But I want to just ask you one more question about the Lagos planned event. There was a lawsuit about, I don't have the details, about a group planning to demonstrate on October 1 or to march on October 1, and some people trying to stop them. What's going on there?
Well, to put the record straight, October 1 is not a protest. October 1 is a rally that the Nigerian youths are planning globally, even in New York. And I must say that we must see video clips from New York, from Dr. Damages. We must. Honestly, you must get out there.
I didn't know. I didn't plan to go anywhere.
No, please, you have to. You have to. Now,
Okay.
I'm telling you. So
Okay.
there's going to be New York.
Okay.
There's going to be London. There's going to be Germany, especially Berlin and Hamburg. There's going to be so globally, Nigerians are saying this year 2020, before the election, they want to use that to say and make a demand that 2023, anyone or group of people that would want to subvert their will would have themselves to blame. That's a simple statement that the Nigerian youth are planning. So now coming back to your question to Lagos. The Lagos one, obviously, as when the youth, they are very obedient and they are adherent to the rule of law, and they went straight to apply for police permission. And, it's only when there's a police permission that led to these, back and forth where someone has gone to court. Oh, why would police grant permission to set of people calling themselves coalition to have this protest? By the time someone has gone to court, there was also a counter. I love it. You know why? Just like when Buhari was tear gassed, when he used Femi Falana to go to court and against the federal government. You recall when Buhari ran with the Oyo of Oyi, late Dr. Chubo Kadibo, and they went to court and they won. And what that case did for Nigeria is it clearly situated it according to Nigerian law as interpreted by a competent court. You do not need police report, or rather police permission, to actually go on such rally or protest. But here are Nigerians who know who are aware of the existence of this judgment, still in Nigerian way don't want to be seen to be breaking the law. had gone to court and had gone to police, get a permission, and someone goes to court to say, no, this permission shouldn't be given. And they have also now gone to court. And court now said, no, this permission is right. So there is nothing unless there is what we call the aeroplane driving judgment. Unless there is anything in that line that may happen, that in the wee hours of the last day of September, that something may happen that might thwart Lagos. But even if Lagos is thwarted, is across the 36 states, including FCT, and the major cities where Nigerians live globally.
Okay, let's bring our audience, our friends now, because most of them you guys are well familiar with them. Ovie, welcome to the show.
And sorry, Rudolph, before you Ovie says something, you see, someone here is telling you the address. He says New York will be near the Nigerian consulate around 45th Street. So
I know I can find it.
You don't walk away from here pretending that you don't know where it's going to happen. So I want to put it on record. New York, I want to join you live that day, reporting on
New York. Okay, maybe I'll see if my team will be up to that. But that's an interesting thing. Yeah, we'll try to do that. All right. So Ovie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Amori, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Damage, for having me. Good morning to your guests, Mazi Ezeoke.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning.
It's always a delight to have you here, bro.
Thank you.
James, thank you. Welcome to the show from the Gambia.
Yes, thank you so much. It's raining over here.
It's raining. Can't you make the rain stop? No?
No, never mind.
No, he's not the rainmaker.
There will be no water shortage in heaven. So thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome, sir.
So some of you were here yesterday when we had Prince Adebayo, and essentially he was talking about that his campaign is yet to kick in because it's not yet time. But Wednesday, everything will be, nobody will have any reason not to campaign. CM, welcome to the show. So Wednesday, nobody will have any reason not to campaign. So what are your expectations? See what happened in Abuja. I mean, I'm telling you, I think Africa as a whole, because this show is Africa-wide, Africans as a whole should pay attention to Nigeria in the next few months, because I don't think this election will be like anything we've seen in Nigeria. Ovie, what do you think?
I would like to know why. I'd like to ask the Mazi, why are you guys disturbing the peace of Abuja? What's that about?
Well, you can see that already. That's why your network is freezing already, because you like.
No, you guys are disturbing the peace of the elite.
Yeah, speak to us and by removing your cameras, by your glasses. So let's see your eyes. When you...
Hey, we are a few days away to the war zone, so we are fully in the war spirit. That's what you are seeing here. So yes, expectation. Nothing. I don't expect the campaign to be on issue base, which is unfortunate. I don't expect it to be, because based on what you are seeing from pretty much almost all the party, except the NNPP, they are actually drawing the battle line along north-south dichotomy. I mean, if you see what the PDP are doing with Wike, is clearly as far as I'm concerned, Wike is falling into the trap of what the Atiku wants. I mean, he's scared. It's obvious that what they did to Goodluck Jonathan by working against his second-term emergency within the party is going to happen to him. That is why he's still insisting that IU will continue to be the chairman. He doesn't want to give that position up. So. And then it's obvious that's what Wike too is also relying on to save his own fate in case whatever happened come after he leave power. So they are drawing that battle line already. It's going to be north and south, which is I wish it doesn't come to that, but it is. And if you can see the accusation coming from the the Northwest, led by what's his name, Madi, who is. I watched a series of videos of Mazi trying to respond to Madi accusation of that Obi movement sectional or whatever, that narrative you're trying to do. I mean, so you are beginning to see that already. So it's unfortunate that we might spend a chunk time of the campaign just talking about what doesn't affect the common man because as far as I'm concerned, Nigeria is not divided. If it's divided, Obi will not be in Emir or Kanu Palace today doing the needful. If Nigeria is divided, you will not see Atiku either in any eastern part of the country trying to campaign. They are just trying to make sure we follow along that line, but we are not divided. I keep saying it. If you go to Gomborungaland today, the extreme end of Borno State, you will see Yoruba people, Igbo people, and Hausa people coexisting, freely. The same thing if you go to Novi, where some of us came from here, you will see both Aboki man and Yoruba man doing business. Everything is going on well, but this idea we are divided. But Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are poorer. That's what is happening. But they don't want us to focus on that.
Hold on, we are going to, before you go, Mazi, let me say that we are going to talk about the PDP's issue with Wike, and we are going to talk about APC's list of campaign members. So we get to all those things, but let's try to go around and talk about Obi.
Exactly. So, and it's my good brother Via, that's Kwankwase Dahosa. I think here he's already telling us where his campaign is going by trying to derail the argument. You asked a very specific argument, a question. You said, "What happened in Abuja yesterday?" And here is Ovia talking about Wike. Did you ask me about Wike? Get serious. No. Get serious.
No. I don't know. I rephrased the question back to you. Why are you guys discussing
you said we are. You said they are disturbing the peace of Abuja. Yeah. Is it that what's happened in Abuja yesterday, as in the words of Parara News, he said he shocked you. He shocked you to the point that you have nothing to say. I don't know. Apart from
listen, Mazi, look at what he said. Look at what he said. That was interesting. He said Obi was in the palace of the Emir of Kano today doing the needful. Before today, what I hear from Obi and his friends are that Obi is campaigning abroad. Why is he not campaigning in the north? So now he put it in smooth, slide it in as if it doesn't matter.
No, I'm giving him credit. I say he's doing what he's supposed to do. I'm giving him credit. That's a good move.
Anything that is going to come from you is debit, not credit. I can guarantee you that. It's I'm here for you. I've been watching many times and I see the way. I'm here today. It's either you just be rest assured that I'm here for you. But what I can tell you is when people, just like Rudolph said, when people talk about Obi not campaigning, I laugh. I say, if you understand what the man is doing, people were saying, "Oh, Datti is in London." I said, "Don't worry, campaign hasn't started." But within 2 days, Datti is back. Datti has gone with him. You see what happened in Kano when they went to see the Emir of Kano. You see the activities there. So the first question Rudolph asked is, what is your view on what happened in Abuja yesterday? Leave Wike and his band. His band by 2023, they will be looking for a new job. Wike, they come on. Don't worry.
We'll get to that. James, welcome to the show. James, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm very worried over these coming elections because the country is so tense. This is precisely what happened in 1966 that led to the outbreak of the Civil War. The ground was prepared and the politicians could not get themselves organized. They got themselves mixed up with what's called the military, and eventually the country found itself at war. This is the same path we are following. It's so sad that at this stage of our development, we are still talking about North-South. Who is to do this? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because we should go for competence, but the way we've organized ourselves shows clearly that we are very, very competent to handle our affairs. Now, instead of us to be talking of how to develop the country, how will the refineries work again? How can the youths excel internationally in sporting activities? These are things we should be concerned with in this election, not Wike what's called El-Rufai. And I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. And because of the tension in the country, in West Africa, where I live here in the Gambia, for example, people are so scared because should Nigeria slide into anarchy, it's going to be problems in this country. Let's say out of the 200 million people in Nigeria, let's just say 10 million move out as refugees, remaining about 190 million at home. Of these 10 million that will move into West Africa, if 500,000 should get to the Gambia, this country will collapse. Because we can't provide electricity for additional 500,000 people. We can't provide water for additional 500,000 people. Where will the children go? The markets are congested. Even the vehicles on the road will not be enough for this country. It's going to be chaos in the whole of the Gambia. And I'm sure the same applies to West Africa. Why can't we get ourselves organized? They look up to us as a source of hope. They want a situation whereby, let's say, France or Germany is harassing Gambia, they will go to Nigeria to report that country.
James, hold on. Are you saying that what gave you the impression that it's so tense? I mean, this is part of politics.
No,
what's going on that is not part of?
The country is tense. Considering the security situation, the security situation of the country cannot sustain what is going on now. We should be very careful so that we don't slide into anarchy. Other African countries that slided into anarchy, like Liberia in particular, this was how they started. In their case, it lasted for 158 years.
All right, James, we'll come back to you. I don't think
we are behaving irresponsibly.
James, who is behaving irresponsibly? Who are you referring to?
The leaders. This so-called elite.
What have they done? What have they done? Who did what?
No, they are not organized.
What do you want them to do?
Be so tense just because they want to conduct election. Look at America where you live.
Wait, because America is the same thing too.
When Donald Trump was coming to office,
James, forget about America. James, tell me the politician. Hold on.
We are operating their constitution. We are operating their style of government.
Yeah. James, hold on. Answer my question. Who did what in Nigeria that makes you afraid that we're in 1996?
No, the issue is Buhari's administration.
He's going. I'm talking about the election.
No, you see, the stage he has set. The stage he has already set. For this, look, be very careful. This is what happened in 1966. I was a small boy then. Should this country
James, we are coming back to you. I want to challenge everybody here today. This is not have your say. This is 90 minutes Africa. So you are a guest here. So you have to verify what you are saying. No, I'm not use that word. You have to explain what you are saying, All right. Omori, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Doctor, for having me this morning.
Yeah. So where are you, Omori?
It's always a delight to be on this show. I'm on my way to church. I can't afford to miss this show. That was why I'm outside the church.
Yeah, tell the pastor.
I see of there as usual. I'm trying to maneuver to divert attention from the real issues. But I just want to summarize by giving you an analogy. There was a notorious Curtis in Auchi Poly back in the days. Those that attended Auchi and Edo, that were in Edo in the early 80s, late 80s, you understand what I'm saying? There was a notorious criminal called Uyi. Uyi could terrorize from north to south, south to east, anywhere you can. He could travel to Makurdi to cause mayhem. The fear of Uyi was the beginning of wisdom. No, a lot of people thought Uyi was invisible. But behold, something happened one day. He was in the bathroom taking a shower. He removed his, I don't know what his protection was. He took a stick, just a stick. So as soon as they passed on Uyi wanted to take off. He wanted to scare the fence. They brought him down. Uyi was dead. A lot of people were beating Uyi, thinking that it was too, it was too cheap to believe that Uyi could just go so soon. So they took Uyi to the mortuary, to hospital. People went out to confirm that Uyi was dead. Students were still passing on Uyi because it was difficult to believe that Uyi could just go so soon. So they tied Uyi to a vehicle. They were dragging Uyi on the street even after doctor's confirmation that he was dead. This is the scenario with PDP and APC. So A lot of people have been so, most of our brains have been so bastardized and, it has been so, abused that we think nothing can happen to PDP and APC. So sometimes we overrate these people. They have nothing. They are not as super as we think. They have been taking advantage of the gullibility. They have been taking advantage of the society. They have been taking advantage of nothing but the low class I don't care attitude of the people. So what is happening right now is beyond Obi. It's not about Obi, like I always say on this platform. It has nothing to do with Obi. It's an accumulation of anger over the years, accumulation of governance failures over the years, accumulation of students that have been at home. I mean, trying to ventilate their grievances. Accumulation of people are angered from the people who can no longer go to their farms and farm. Accumulation of people who can no longer afford a square meal. People that can no longer, sleep with their two eyes closed. So I told of you last week, I don't know what they are banking on, but the earlier they realize what is about to before them, the better for all of them. So there is a revolution before us, but they say the future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amore. Thank you so much. Before we continue, I'll come to CM and other people. Njenje, I can I won't let you. I want you to address what James. I don't want to dismiss what James was saying. Are you feeling from where you are that there is tension such that we could connect what's happening today to 1966?
No, I do not have that feeling as we speak. And I'm glad, and I must say thank you for giving me that opportunity. I'm also a student of history. My elder there, James, who is joining us from the Gambia, made reference to 1966 that led to Nzogu's coup. I mean, you kind of alluded and answered that question. Buhari is going. So there is no iota of semblance that can give us that sense that we are getting into 1966, because that is not in any way, shape, or form where we are. In 1966, or before 1966, before the army struck, bear in mind that we had the Operation Wait here in the Southwest then. Do we have any part of Nigeria now that we have that level of crisis? Yes, we do have, incident of crisis there, but it's not organizational in that sense that it can pull the nation down. What we have now is pure criminality. Please, we must make that differential here. Be it from terrorists, bandits, whatever the nomenclature you may choose to classify them, these are organized criminals that if you have the right leadership to tackle them heads on with the right people, you will see that reduce. But in 1966, it was a case of total massacre and alienation that tilted towards one side. You can see how eventually panned out. It's part of history that, honestly, of anyone that follow me, that eventually that culminated into the execution of the prime minister. And I must note on your platform, the best Nigerian head of state would ever had. Go, and I recommend everybody to go to YouTube, type in Tafawa Balewa in America. Quote me, you will be happy to have a Nigerian president who spoke without any interpreter, the diction to near to perfection. That is what leadership, in my view, I wasn't born then, but as a student of history, these are things you need to study. In as much as history has been taken away from us today, but when you understand that, and I make bold to say that eventually, that if those who conducted that coup, in hindsight today, I think was one of the worst thing that happened in Nigeria, actually, that coup that truncated that, our progress. And we haven't, honestly, recovered from there, eventually led to the loss of over 3 million people, but the rest is history. Do I think that we are approaching that trajectory today? No. Again, sir, if I may address the second point you raised, you said that we should be talking about policy and how these things will be doing the other one. And again, you come back to what I spoke to Ovia, even jokingly then. is that we must stick to issue. If we stuck with the question Rudolph asked, what happened in Abuja yesterday? How do you see it? Everything is not about policy. When citizens come out to say, we are registering our, desire in certain ways, it is not left for citizens to begin to formulate policies for you. If and when the campaign starts, it is then the question that every one of us, platforms, individual, now to begin to ask those that are presenting themselves to say, what is it you have for us in defense, in agriculture, in sports? Sir, that's where I expect you, that point to come in. I think Rudolph, again, had a conversation yesterday with Adewale, who is the presidential candidate of the SDP. Those are the platforms you can engage. Want to find out, what does that person have for us? Let us honestly move away from distraction of discussing mundane things. For me, this issue of bringing Miwike into that conversation so early at that point is nothing more than a comic relief at that point. And please do not take that too serious. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mazi. CM, did you watch what happened in Abuja? CM is always frozen. We have to help see. I thought the Queen is dead and King Charles is doing anyway. Okay, he's here. Okay, CM, you can hear me. Good.
Consign Queen. I beg.
So, what happened in Abuja yesterday? Did you watch? What does that say to you about the
okay, thank you. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I did. I think in a sentence, it's just a paradigm shift. It's just an announcement that power has shifted in Nigeria. If I thought power was static somewhere, it has shifted. I remember the youths. They should be able, power is not giving, power is not giving, power is taking. Come and take power. Now the youths have woken up. They've been sleeping before, but they've woken up. And now they want that power. How are they going to get that power? They've identified somebody who is different from the rest of the.
All right.
Like Nigeria, you give people, hey God, what is this? They will eat your money, they won't vote for you. Please let me drop this. But what happened in Abuja is telling us that they don't need your money. They are willing to spend the shishi, the small shishi they have. But what they want is the world that they want to be in, big politician. No. Just like the rally all over the country, it's not organized. And you have seen that for those that are saying, why can't people be campaigning in the north? You see, this is a beginning. Now they've moved from the coastal area to the middle, they're going to the middle belt. Who knows, the next time, is the next rally might be in Kano or Kasena. So the thing is that I don't want to go beyond the scope of the question. What happened in Abuja is just to tell the world that, look, power has shifted. The youths are now in charge and they want a paradigm shift from 2023. So no more the old brigade, they should go and rest. The youths have taken over. Money cannot even win next year's election from the way I'm seeing it. No amount of billions you deploy, you may put it will go down the drain, but it won't give you the result of 2007 or 2011 or 2015 or 2019. Let me stop there for now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. I wanted to go to Alaro, but it appears that he's
Am I still frozen?
He's here. No, CM, you are not frozen. All right. Alaro, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dr. Damages, my brothers, and my Oga, Mazi. How you all doing?
You are the only one here who is, we know where you stand. And
I'm not the only one. We know where everybody stands, but I'm the only one open.
Openly, yeah, Kwankwa, so we know where Ovia stands to Kwankwa, so despite. Okay, so now let me come to you. What is your impression? You must be happy from.
Okay, I'm having some static. I think that's on my hand. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it should be your end. Yeah, I thought Germany. Yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead.
So basically, what happened yesterday was not a surprise, as we know. It's a matter of time. It's long time coming, anyway. And what is happening in the north as far as all the consultations also, even though people have underrated what has been going on for the last few months, but they're gradually seeing how things are moving forward and what the future holds. This is not a joke. And Ovie, like I told you, you've said it. You're a politician, and at some point you have to join the movement because you can't stay in the losing team forever. You know, I think we can use your youthful energy and your brains as well. Everybody's welcome. No holds barred. This is one nation. This is the youth. This is the technocrats. This is everything. This is the future of Nigeria. And on what Oga Mazi said, with this Tafa Balewa video on YouTube, that's a must watch for everybody. I saw that a few times, and the man's mentality back then, it's to even try to implement that in today's world and what his mental state was, it's absolutely amazing. So I hope everybody should take the time out to go look at that. I'll leave it at that for now, and I'll say some more stuff later on.
All right, thank you. Ebi, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Okonkwo. By the way, I like that video of you and I just forgot her name now, the lady in Sahara Reporter.
Adiola.
Adiola.
Okay.
That was really.
Oh yeah, we met in New York. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really nice. And first of all, I'm always delighted to when I have the opportunity to express my liking for Mazi Ezeoke, of Njenje Media. He's here again. He's very articulate, always on point. I like the man a lot, but I have a wife. I'm straight. Okay. So what we saw yesterday is an indication of what is happening. I was in Nigeria recently, and I was mostly in Lagos, and I was going about in Uber-styled transport, okay? And it was on purpose. I just want to feel the environment. And you know whose abode is Lagos among the politicians. And I took not less than 15 different type of Uber. Not Uber, they call it Bolt or something. And I took different, not less than 15, okay? And once I sit down, I normally sit in the front. I always engage them. And out of 15, only one did not say Obi. And out of the 15, at least 8 of them were Yoruba. And I had to even put their landlord in Lagos into their mouth. They just spew it out. They have to be worried, though, these people. The OVA people that have structure and know everything. They have to be really, really worried. And what happened in Abuja, I'm going to tell you today from what I saw recently and the feelings, Buka, everywhere, bus stop, and people always engage them. If they dare allow the 1 million man in Lagos, they will see 5 million. Thank you.
Thank you. Oluwa Shegun, welcome to the show. Shegun, can you hear me? Shegun, can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself?
Shege.
Shegun.
Yeah. Again, obedient. That's why.
Shegun, we can't hear you. Where are you?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Where are you joining us from?
I am 1 billion%.
Where are you joining us from, Shegun?
I am 1 billion.
Okay, Shegun has
1 billion%.
two systems. So Shegun, we have to.
Finland.
Mute the mic.
Right, Shegun, I think you have two things on there. You have to turn off one. Let's go to Femi. Femi, welcome to the show.
Good. Is it good morning now? Good afternoon. Good morning, Dr. Rudolph.
Yeah.
And everybody.
So Femi, we know you are concerned about certain things going on in Nigeria, but is there any change based on what is going on? We are 3 days away from the campaign.
Yeah, yes, I'm definitely concerned about the state of affairs in Nigeria, just like everyone. What I'm not concerned about is the fact that you're coming in hams. Like, since you always like to label everybody, I keep saying that, Dr. Damages, you're coming in hams. My namesake, Femi Adesina, hasn't spoken in eons now. So I'm not too concerned about that. That's a good thing. At least good reasons to all the nonsense that he keeps spewing. He says the most upsetting and annoying things some of the most upsetting things I've heard in my life. But that being said, just to quickly pivot to what our dear Dr. I mean, I can call him Dr. Do in Njenje Media mentioned. I have seen that video, by the way. I've seen it so many times. I think where I saw it from is one of the channels I have on YouTube. And I agree totally with what he said. I don't need to repeat anything on that. But having said that, I think I was I would say I was pretty impressed. I think there was another one he had in, I can't remember which of the northern states, where he had people come out. There's a difference between genuineness and people that are paid to come out, if you will, among other things. I mean, we know the streaks now. And as much as my own thing still remains that how I wish, of course, it's just wishes, that we could have a real conversation in terms of the way Nigeria is structured, first of all. But yeah, we'll take what appears to be a new lease of life in Obi. I mean, that I'm not necessarily supporting him, but I'm not against. I just want something different. If we can't go with what's it called? But in any case, I also just, for everybody that hates injustice, it's nothing to me that I'm Yoruba if I see injustice being played out in a country where they keep telling us one Nigeria. And initially, whether it was written or written, we keep making reference to Switzerland, Dr. Damages, and how they have people with, these are Europeans, for crying out loud, and how they're able to find a way where the Flemish speaking parts and the French speaking parts, and I forget the third, I think it's the German speaking parts, are able to take turns. In the name of just, you know what I'm saying? Because one of our greatest problems in Nigeria, which is so obvious, is injustice. I'll leave you at that for now.
Thank you. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, good. So what do you think about what happened in Abuja? Shegun.
Oh, you want me to go? Okay.
No, you have. Yeah, I know you want to go all the time. Shegun, do you know? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you asked about what I think about what
happened in Abuja. Yes. What does that change your impression of what's going to happen in the next few months?
My impression has always been the same. I am a diehard supporter of Peter Obi, even when so. Of course, I know that Abuja. I have so many people in Abuja that I communicated with, and I know that it's just a tip of the iceberg. Yoruba mani asheme yobolapuni. So we are just starting, and I know that we can do more. So Abuja people, so I'm so excited, and I feel that Peter Obi, of course, will win the Federal Capital Territory, by the special grace of God. So,
all right, thank you. Let me come to you, Raf. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Good morning. Greetings, everybody. How you doing today? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yesterday's happening in Abuja. It's not actually a surprise. It's literally a play of. Was it last week? Was it last week I was here, and I referenced the rally that happened in Abakaliki that wasn't it wasn't on the talking points, but there was the rally that was blocked in Abakaliki. There was the one that was interrupted in somewhere in the north before a few weeks back. We had been seeing signs of this previously, but nobody had really brought it up on this platform. And it's like we just ignored it. And then we still keep hearing people saying, B does not, nobody knows him in the north, nobody knows him in the north. And I'm like, okay, but somebody is trying to organize a rally in the north. I don't know who the somebody is. Apparently, it's not, we don't count those people. But the fact that a state governor in one of the northern states came out and was like, as far as I'm here, there will not be any obedient rally. That should have told you something, that somebody is panicking. You are seeing different reactions in different parts of the country, and we'll still be listening to chaos agents saying their thing, giving you misinformation as if we are not seeing these things. So the fact that, as our brother Mazi had said earlier, the youths went by the law. They didn't even have to go to the police because there's already legal precedent that says you don't actually have to go to the police to go have your rally, but they still went and got the permit. And you see the interruptions, which is, I believe you've had, there was the audio release of what they call them, the people who are supposed to allow billboards be put up in Lagos. For Obi, they refused to give permission for Peter Obi's billboards to be put up in Lagos because they had that audio recording. You're seeing the whole state being used at different levels to harass, to intimidate. But if you wouldn't do all this if you're not afraid, if there's not a fear in place. So it tells you that there's something, because you're not hearing them doing this for Kwakwanso's campaign. You're not hearing them doing this for Showere's campaign so far. You're not hearing them doing this for any other person's campaign. Why are they doing this for only Peter Obi? You can answer the question if you're intelligent. If you're not intelligent, then I don't take offense if you want to take offense. So the fact is there for you. If you really want change in the country, then you're smart enough to figure it out by now. So yeah, it's right there.
All right, thank you. We're going to go into there's action, there's reaction. So this movement is going on, and people are seeing that the other parties are not going to surrender. They are going to do things. And what are they going to do? But before we do that, I'll give Sydney a chance to air his view on what's going on. Sydney, welcome to the show. Sydney, can you unmute yourself? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Mazi. I think just to go straight to the point, most of us have highlighted on it. The truth is this: the movement was not anticipated by the establishment, and the establishment is becoming reactional to whatever the movement is coming about. And because the movement is a young or youth-driven movement, so it's very cerebral, it's very agile, it's very active, it's mobile, it's swift, and it's actually meeting the demands of the people. And the truth is also that there's no way that an Obi presidency can come into being without massive opposition, because what's happening is an election between the people and the establishment. And wherever that has happened globally, globally, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in the Americas, wherever, whatever that happens, there must be, the establishment will put everything, they will throw out the kitchen sink to see that they sink such a movement, because it will not be business as usual. It means that once the people get hold of power, then freedom has come. So what we're seeing in Abuja, or what started in Plateau, I would say Plateau kickstarted it, and then Abuja is a signal already that the North Central is already almost gazumped. However, it's not yet over, because we should expect, in terms of the Obi movement, they should expect a lot of kickbacks, because, like I said, the establishment is going to throw everything that is necessary to stop it. I would go back a bit. In the NSAS movement, they could use the instrumentality of state. But now they know that the people want a peaceful handover of government through the ballot box. However, that is going to be not easy for the establishment to give up. So in moving forward in terms of the issues of Lagos, because that is the last stand of the man from Bodilon. That is his last stand. If Lagos falls, he knows that his presidency is in question. So he's going to do all it takes through the legal system, through the instrumentality of state, to puncture a lot of things. One thing that the movement should be careful of is to be dragged into that space where we elicit violence. That is a very critical area in which I'm thinking more about, in such of, we have a young movement that may not be very savvy with political maneuvering. So in terms of moving forward, especially now campaign actually starts, that is when they will bring in all the dark arts in different pockets, and then try to create a narrative which has already been going ahead. If you look at the narrative, they say, oh, the obedience are this, the obedience are bad. They are somehow on social media. That narrative is what will be maximized, especially once campaign kickstarts. And my concern is they will start creating two opposing young groups. And mark my words, it's going to happen. Two opposing young groups, pro-Obi, anti-Obi. And it will now create as if there is unrest in the nation. So this is something that the Obi movement, the Obi thing should think carefully about. How do we move forward in such a way that the way the campaign has been going and the way the matches have been going, there would be that consistency. There will also be allowance for other voices. People that want to vote the other campaigns, like my brother here is a Kwankwanso supporter, they should be allowed. There should be that allowance of space, so that the establishment will not hijack the movement and create a wrong narrative.
All right. So let's move a little bit to the reactions, and we know that sometime this last week there was this story out of Lagos that people were being forced. Keke Pepe drivers were being forced to put a sticker of Tinubu, to pay 1,000 naira. To put a sticker of Tinubu on their vehicles, and some were resisting, and it must cause problems. Let me play this video.
This is Falomo live and direct. Ikoyi Falomo Bodilon, number 25, Tinubu House. See what he's doing. Selling, our people are selling their future to collect 1,000 naira. See them. See how they queue. Anybody that collects 1,000 will come out. 1,000 will come out. Tomorrow they will say Nigeria is not good. Can you see? See them selling Nigeria, selling our future for 1,000 naira. Tinubu wife, Tinubu no go better for you. Peter Obi, you have to come out. Whether Tinubu like it or not, Peter Obi must win. See them.
Now, I call these kind of reporters my crack reporters. I don't know them, but they don't have any filter. Nobody pays them. They don't do this because they want to be famous or anything. They're just saying what they have in mind. So that leads us to the reaction, because it's not going to be an easy like everybody here agrees. Mazi, what do you think? What are you anticipating? Because the opposition research, they must be doing their research. They must be preparing on how to attack, how to bring down each other.
Well, the opposition, I can tell you that the intel you have on the major parties that they do not have anything tangible that they want to work on. And they have resorted to false creation of narrative, certain narratives that will divide the people in order to sway people away from the real issues. If you think that what Shehu Mahdi, the man who faked that he's got spinal injury, I call him a first-class Nollywood actor, but sadly here in Nigeria, he's been given listening ears by some media houses. So when you look at that, you can see all the narratives that he has pushed out is crafted and is coming from one direction. One, he's been consistently playing on ethnic narrative where he goes out, he says that certain people were given badges in Anambra State and certain individuals were taken out of Anambra State, whereas that he himself, he knew it, that he was talking arrant nonsense and that he knew that was lies and there was no consequences. When you think, that the NBC should be doing their job where they ought to, no, they won't. It's only when certain truth, uncomfortable truth, are said that they will begin to somehow do their job. He knew that he was lying when he said that certain young man stepped on Nigerian flag in the United Kingdom. He knew that the car that was parked beside was the German Polizei. Those that have lived in Germany will know, and those, even if you don't need to, if you just do a Google search, you know that this is a Photoshop thing. And he comes on a national TV and says something like this. The same, because of that type of narrative, he goes again to the northern, quote unquote, the northern Christians and tells them, oh, that no one could buy a land in the southern part of Nigeria or even be allowed to build churches. Again, he knew, and he knows it till tomorrow morning, that what he said was nothing but fluke and lies. But he said it with bold face. And if a man who goes to the judge pretends that he got spinal injury, that he can't move with his neck, and when they were even moving him, he was shouting, "Woyo Allah, woyo, woyo, woyo," just basically acting. Suddenly, miracle happened when he got into a room thinking that no eyes were on him and someone recorded him. How miracle happens, like the Nigerian Pentecostal pastors that can only do miracle with brand new clutches, yet we have cripples and deaf and dumb walking the street of Nigeria. I'm not taking a swipe on anybody, but again, you need to situate things and how things are. So if you understand all these things, you understand that some parties know that if you stick on issues, they've lost the elections. Therefore, they would come with distractions. All I say to any peace-loving Nigerian is to ensure that when such narratives come, that you do your best, you know, at least, if not for anything, for posterity's sake, that we situate them properly and, you know, countering them as a people to ensure that we defeat the monster. Because, you know, if we're not able to do this, we may eventually then end up finding ourselves to the question where Elder James, who joined us from Gambia, alluded at the beginning, that he is afraid that the nation is drifting. I would say that we are not yet drifting, but if such narratives are allowed to take the air, we may get to a point where we may, but now we are not. But again, the good thing here that I do have a program by 6 is also to begin to address that, which is these narratives. I am happy that the people that have addressed them, for instance, Prophet Isa Abuba has addressed it, that a man from the Middle Belt, who said, you know, he's a pastor and said, I am preaching from a church in southern Nigeria owned by a northerner. Someone like Aisha Yusufu, who is married to a northerner, has also come out to, and so many other northerners on the Twitter space, on Facebook have said, no, that was then, they lied to us, but now we are aware. One thing is that we must move away from those narratives that would divide us the more and look at those things that makes us human. And in doing that, let us not allow the political parties to play caro with our brains. There are those. I will conclude with this. I saw a flyer this morning. You know, the flyer really cracked me up. The flyer says, though, let me quickly read that out, because when I found it very interesting, and I laughed when I saw that. The flyer said, I don't get it. How can healthy people gather together to campaign for a sick man to lead them? I still don't get it. I still don't get this madness. And I said, well, if we are all healthy, we must also begin to think in a healthy manner and not allow these political jobbers to divide us. No matter what, if any of us, 10 of us here in this room, if we fall sick, we go to hospital. If they cut any of us open, there is only thing that is going to come out. Irrespective of where we come from, we could save one another's life. The only thing that comes from us is blood. And that blood, whether you're white, yellow, black, green, we can all give blood to save one another. And if we are in the continent of Africa, in the motherland, then I ask ourselves, why is it then that when it comes to political conversations, we kind of leave competence and go back to our political cocoons and begin to make argument that doesn't make sense? This is 21st century, people. We must all do together, do things that will help us leapfrog. The moderator this evening said this at the beginning. Africa, Nigeria, owes the key. If and the movement you have here in Nigeria currently eventually succeeds, bet me, other African nations will say, oh, okay, they've succeeded. If Nigerians are able to do it, yes, we can do it. And you may see a new Africa emerge. And that is what we pray for. I know many of us on this platform, many of our brothers and sisters watching us, who are watching and who are joining us from the diaspora, many of you want to come home to invest, but you can't. Why can't you do that? The answer is very obvious. And that narrative and that mindset, we must help to change. Thank you very much. Rudolph, you're muted.
Right. Thank you, Mazi. Let me, for those who may not know what you were referring to. Oh, I'm muted by... No,
we can hear you now.
Okay. All right. I wanted to share, I wanted to know whether somebody, Pantami, we've not talked about him for so long. Maybe he's active now. All right. So let me play the video for those who may not know what Mazi was referring to.
This is a message to my northern Christian brothers and sisters, specifically for you. Why? Because if you go to the south, to the southeast, to the southwest, a Christian from northern part of Nigeria is a northerner. Simple. If there are breakdown of blood orders in Enugu, they kill everybody, whether a Muslim or Christian coming from the north. This is the record that is on ground. Nobody can deny this. Christians of northern extraction. Think wisely, act wisely, behave wisely. You have no business voting a southern candidate based on Christianity. At the end of the day, his agenda is not you. His agenda is his own tribe. If you pick Obi, his agenda is not Christianity. He could be a fantastic Catholic. But below the Catholicism, he is a die-hard Biafran.
So this is the response from...
For 1 minute. There is one man called Mazi Usman who spoke a few days ago and tried to speak lies against the Southern Church and against the Southerners. That we Northerners that are Christians will come to the South and will find it difficult to get a land to worship God. And I want to say to you, Mazi Usman, you're a liar. That is not true. I am a Northerner and I am preaching here in the South.
All right, so it's going to be interesting. The next 6 months, a lot of things will come up. And James, let me come back to you. I know you are worried. I hope you can see that this is part of the political process. We may not like it. It's not pretty, but it happens across the world. And
you are correct.
So
you are correct. You see, I'm not an advocate of violence. We gain more if we discuss than when we fight. In South Africa, during the apartheid era, they fought and fought and fought. At the end of the day, they all went back to the negotiation table. That's where they sort out things among themselves, and that's what brought peace to South Africa. I'm afraid because, you see, there's a man, I think I watched him on Sahara TV. It's a bearded guy. His name is something, Farotimi, something, I can't remember his name.
Dele Farotimi.
Good. He said that the country is made up of two sets of people. You see, the Westerners, when I say West, I mean the European West, they are racing to space, outer space, looking for alternative home for man and doing wonderful things with science and technology. A section of the country want to be like them. They want to be involved in space research and improve, the lot of mankind. Then there is another set of people in the country who are racing to Afghanistan. These two sets of people are irreconcilable. This is the problem we are faced today. Now, see the video you showed earlier on of that man saying such despicable things about a presidential candidate. Now, if it is clear to them that they are losing power, what do you think they will do? This is what I'm referring to. I'm not saying we should go back to the 1966 era to create a civil war, to disorganize the country, no. But we just have to be forward-looking to know what is coming. So this is the fear I have. You see, this was a million-man march. It was disturbed in Ebonyi, Kwara, and Kaduna, if I'm not mistaken. Now, during the NSAS problem, what's called protest at Lekki Peninsula, the youth were super peaceful. Even at the end of demonstration, they sweep the streets and come back the next day. But somehow, certain things went wrong. It is not the youth who went violent. They planted people to create the violence. So these guys who are afraid of losing power, they are prepared to plunge the country into a civil war for them to retain power. Now, right now as we are talking, we know that foreigners are being imported into the country in form of Boko Haram or whatever it is. What are they coming to preach peace? The answer is no. The whole of northern Nigeria today is ravaged. There's problems. I mean, there are problems everywhere. So this is what I'm worried about. Left to me, actually, my alternative is not workable. If not, I would have suggested that this so-called National Assembly should, at the end of Buhari's administration, suspend some sections of the Constitution, set up an interim administration for 1 year or so that they fix the country and organize a proper election. This election we are getting into, I'm very afraid.
Who will be a members of the interim government?
No. You see, that is why I said this so-called National Assembly. They were the people who, I mean, they're supposed to decide.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, who will they put in there?
No, that is their responsibility.
And you trust them, that they will do that.
No, this is why I said my idea is not workable.
Okay, then let's talk about the ones that are workable.
It's not workable.
Why should we stay here and talk about the ones that are not workable?
No, I have to tell you the truth. It's not workable. Another unworkable idea.
Let's talking about something workable. Kwankwaso, Ovie, is it workable now? Looking at what's going on, that we're going to other parties now. We are moving from Obi and the movement. We are going to talk about PDP, and APC. Kwankwaso, what are the chances now? Is your team, your campaign, are they finding any headway? Is there any path to the presidency? Because very soon, by Wednesday, we start talking about that. Nobody will say that the campaign has not started.
Yeah, first, let me respond to Mazi and Omori regarding my first comment about the Abuja shenanigan. You know, just one thing, we I don't know if we get carried away with all the razzmatazz, we forget that. And this is one thing the big parties understand, that it's a party politics, it's a party competition. Party will compete against party. It's not personality contest. In other words, when you go to the polling booth that day, you're only going to see the logo of a party and the name of that party, PDP, APC, AP, and other. You are not going to see the name of the candidate or his picture. This big party understand. That's why when they shout structure, that's what they are talking about. They are everywhere already. Every nooks and cranny of these villages, their logo is there. So they understand it. So anytime they react to all these rallies, either positively or negatively, you people will start saying, oh, they are shivering, they are shivering. No, they are not shivering. Just like Omori, you say, oh, they are being surprised about what is happening. It's like you accusing a father of it when his son become somebody successful or a failure that the father doesn't know or didn't see it from the beginning. You might be deceiving the world, but you can't deceive yourself. So they know that all this thing is going to come up. Forget all this thing we are talking about. Now, coming back to other political parties and specifically what the video that you played, that's identity politics at its best. I remember, I think my first time on this platform, second time, I raised issue along that line, Biafra line, and all those kinds of things. People went crazy. Say, you don't pass, you don't pass. Why you go to bring all those things on? No, it never passed. We just start. For you to go for power of that magnitude, your campaign starts the next day after the previous or the incumbent president take office. Some people can even argue that it goes back to their primary days. When Buhari take office, things begin to happen. What is the noise within our own space? Buhari a dead man from Sudan. In fact, they are trying to attach that office to the whole Fulani people, the Northern sphere. And I've been saying, this is dangerous. This is not to go about it. People say, oh, you are playing allegiance to the caliphate. No, because you are actually building context for your opponent to use against you when the time comes. And that's what you are saying. It's not going to die down. People will be coming forward with such kind of, either they put their own words to make it very crazy and acceptable. You'll be seeing it. And if you pay attention, the kind of character that is coming to split this kind of rhetoric. Now, people who have one or two questionable about their characters. because they will know you fix on his character rather of the issue that he's trying to raise. And that's exactly what's happening to Mahdi when I see Njenje reacting to him, how he fainted, how is it this. That doesn't matter anymore. It's not on the ballot paper. What matters is the message that he's trying to paint. You will spend X amount of time trying to debunk that, and that is what is going to happen. This elite knows. They understand how this game works. And that's where we are getting, we'll get carried away with all the rallies. When that day comes, people will go vote. It's a party affair. It's different. But there's no way. That's why there's a saying that no start fight where you know if you finish. This idea is insulting South, insulting North. Not be today's start. They are just going to capitalize on that. And just as Mazi said, trying to point out, we are not going to discuss issue that is important to us or how can we change the game. They will make sure shit like that keep coming up for us to keep going back and forth for. So if we sit there and say, oh, these old guys have been defeated, they are in shock of their life. Guess what? Now we go receive that shock at the end of the day. They know everything they are doing and they are working day and night to make sure we throw according that line. That's what I have to say about that for now.
All right. Yeah, Mazi, I want you to react then now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ovia, that's the Ovia I like, being straightforward here. I like your submission, and I must say, I am, even some people still, people I took serious actually still believe that Buhari is not the president, that we have one person there wearing mask, and that is the level of things we need to contend with. And most times when you try to make some corrections, you're being labeled with all sorts of nonsense. But that is by the way. And, when such narrative, grew, there is something I want to say to every Nigerian listening to us now. These were individuals. We must make that distinction. It will be insulting to the North to say that every person who is contesting from the northern part of Nigeria is going to be painted in the same brush of what the North, quote unquote, has offered Nigeria. We know where and what happened to the presidential candidate of the APC, where he's coming from. Should we then brush him and say that's his identity, or the things that happened in the state before now? If that be the case, the current president was at some point under Goodluck Jonathan, let's not forget history, appointed by Boko Haram to be the only source of negotiator they would ever accept. It would then be, if we want to use that same level of condescending thinking and analogy, it would then be, oh, Buhari, simple. If Boko Haram would appoint you to be their spokesperson and their chief negotiator, what does that mean? It makes you a grand patron. Therefore, we have a president who, by the words and by the actions of Boko Haram, that is bent on destroying Nigeria. The people that have gone to a school, kidnap, kill, maim, rape, our girls. It will now be that the president is representing them. But that is not the narrative. So anyone who is pushing that narrative should be put at right. Therefore, if someone is also putting that narrative, we should also put that right. You see, it is always easy for someone to now say, oh, Mahdi, responding to Mahdi. But you also forget there is a man from Rudolph's, I believe that's from Rudolph's community in Anambra State called Ebube Monson, who made a video saying in one of his sermons that anybody who is Igbo that doesn't vote for Peter Obi, that person should be chased out of the great Igbo nation. And many people, including myself, said, no, that is wrong. He is a prophet or a pastor, or whatever he calls himself. But that message is as hateful as the message of Mahdi. And we must not tolerate that, because that is not the right thing. If my brother doesn't want to vote for Peter, whom I would vote for, I cannot say he's not going to be my brother again. But in love, I could be able to convince him based on antecedents, saying, well, I think these are the reasons. You know, I keep telling, as of last year, I was telling people, in 2023, if APC gets out Osibanjo, this election will take a different dimension. But they shot themselves in the foot. They made the option so easy for Nigerians. We may not be having these rallies, or we may be seeing a counter rally if Professor Yemi Osibanjo was in the ballot for the APC. The same way, because Nigerians are moving away from men of Gongoro. They are now going, you know, basically, I mean, it's, you know, sometimes it's mind-boggling that in 2022, we'll be talking about, anyway, we'll be talking about, Rudolph is giving me signs. Let me not say it. But
no, it's
we need
okay.
to move forward. Don't worry, don't worry.
Okay,
I'm not going to say it. We need to move forward.
All right, thank you. Sydney, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just a few things. Number one, I wanted to talk especially to OVA. He mentioned something about personality, context, and not party. And it amazes me because NMPP is all about Kwakwanso, and that's a personality. It's not about, there's nothing about NMPP.
Who know NMPP?
The brand NMPP is about personality. This election, Mr. OVA, new announcement for you. Maybe you don't know, but you're already representing it. It's about personality with the Nigerian public. Now, and if you look at the 4 parties, if we call them, or all the 18 parties, let's say 6 or thereabout. APC, a personality. Tinubu, you can't wish him away. PDP, a personality. Atiku, you can't wish him away.
That's correct.
Obi has created a brand. Kwakwanso is a brand. The Kwakwansia movement is a personality. So let's stop deceiving yourself. Just because Kwakwanso missed the wave doesn't mean that he's not a personality. So this election, let's stop deceiving ourselves. Both the people and the political juggernauts know it's a personality war. So I think I needed to address that first. Just wait.
Let me correct something, Sidney. Let me just correct something. All right. Okay, when I say, I gave the example when I said it's not about personality contest, but come that day when you approach your polling booth, you are not going to see the name of this person or his picture there. But again, I understand that Konkoso is just a face of the Konkoso. Let me finish now. Let me correct that. NNPC is not, you might see it as about Konkoso.
Now
Konkoso
you
is not
you said
even
NNPC
about,
is to tell you because your party is not
Sydney, let me just land. Sydney, let me land.
I think Konkoso
as a person is just a face of that movement. The Konkoso, the ideology is way bigger than Konkoso. That's what you need to find out first.
I agree with you, just for us to move on. But what I wanted to let you know was that the personality thing you are talking about, Nigerians know. And one thing, you're also falling into that trap to think that the Nigerian people are not cerebral enough to know that when they go into the polling booth, they are going to vote a party logo. The Nigerian public know that. But listen, no, don't shake your head. Even the most illiterate Nigerian public know when we go there, it's either umbrella or this or this. We know that. However, these personalities are people that create parties to run. Even if you look at well-established democracies, the Republican or the Democratic Party, they could have brought in any of the young guns, but they knew that to remove a behemoth like Donald Trump, they needed a man that could carry a personality toga and bring them to that party. Sydney, that is the truth. Sydney. So I don't want to waste much time on that, but this election is about personalities, and the Nigerian people know that very, very well.
All right. So Sydney, I have to stop you. I want to get the conversation spread out so that it's not just between
I have a question.
Okay, yeah,
I have a question,
go,
please.
CM, go ahead.
The question I have is probably for Vie. The person who will vote for Tinubu on the day of the presidential election knows that he's not going to see Tinubu's name on the ballot. He will only be looking for broom. What makes you think that the person who will vote for Obi will not be looking for where they draw Labour logo of
No,
a
Mama
family
Papa
of the
Pikin.
of a
Mama
father,
Papa Pikin.
father Mama Pikin? What makes you think that? So it's only people that will vote for Tinubu and Atiku, or maybe Kwankwaso will know the logo. The ones that will vote for Obi, they are so confused, illiterate, that they can't even see the logo. They will be looking for Obi's name. What made you think that way?
Even to buttress your point, ask him that is sitting down here, does he know the logo of what he calls NMPC? Does he know the logo? Can you
see
again,
again, we are missing the point. There are 10 of us here. How many of us are going to vote, if I may ask?
I am going to vote.
That's 1 out of 10.
Well,
the same thing when you listen now, when you go to where the battlefield is, not be city boys like you, as Tinubu will claim that is a city boy. The vast majority, the voters of these people, they don't know all these things that we are talking about.
They know.
That's a fact.
You see, you're not taking your people serious. No, they know. There is a campaign by the level
I agree with
Mama Papa Pikin, and that is nothing but to sensitize the people. But even as we speak, the people that will vote NMPC will be looking at the logo of NMPC, not even NMPP.
This is the same mindset. This is the same mindset of the leadership, and that's why they could not anticipate the Obi movement.
Exactly.
No, so what I want to say is, I wanted to come to the question that Rudolph asked, which was about other parties and where are things currently. The truth is that Kwakwanso has a battle on his hand, even for Kanu, because within his Kwakwansia movement, the Shekarau group have bolted out. So even the Kwakwansia, which could have said, okay, Kanu, we can hold stake on Kanu and see whether we can push the election to the runoff, is going to have intense battle on it. So for me, the tide has shifted, because the election is about tide, it's about momentum. And the truth is that there was a time when there was a momentum of a Kwakwanso Obi ticket, but that momentum have shifted. And if the Kwakwansia will tell them themselves, the truth is that if you look at the race currently, they are number 4, and they may be even struggling with that, with the SDP. So these are realities on ground, and that's the truth. With other parties, I think it's obvious it's now a 3-horse race. And within this 3-horse race, the Nigerian public has shifted opinion. And let us not over hype there's something Ovie said, which is correct in terms of how the political brat is thinking. But the truth is that if they are not really afraid, they may not say it in the open because it's a battle. But the truth is that there's real concern. They're going to throw everything into the works. The Madi Shady thing is, for me, is a massive distraction.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
If anybody wants to respond, I think it's a distraction.
Okay, let me play this video before we go on. This is part of the conversation.
Instead of everybody to concentrate on how PDP will win, you go and pay money to television houses to talk about week every day. Meanwhile, Wike and his team were busy providing the dividends of democracy, talking about Wike. I've told them, when you have a child, give the name Wike. Was the goal point? And let me tell you why. With also, apart from this, IU is very corrupt. Very, very corrupt. It's a heavy allegation. No, I'm your 4 major television. Listen. I'm not. Listen. You are talking to the governor of Rivers State.
You are talking to the governor of Rivers State. You know, sometimes I forget what I am. You know, but apparently, if you are the governor of Rivers State, you can't forget. So it's very important. Wike is very important in what happens in the next few months. We don't like it. We don't like to have that conversation. You don't think of it? All right. At least for the PDP.
Yes, I don't think so.
Okay. Who thinks so? Let me go to somebody we have.
I think so.
I think so as well.
Femi, go ahead. Femi, you look like you're a PDP.
No,
I'm just kidding.
The next time I see you, whenever I come to New York, I will have, thank you for always mislabeling us. Okay. At least I know Femi Adesina is your body, so that I have to deny that. But in any case, it was a very painful watch, and again, it speaks to how lowly we've descended as a nation and as a people. When and I don't have any iota of sympathy for any of those people, including especially with people like Wiki, because think of it, he had problem. He seems to have problem with everybody but himself. He thinks everybody is the fault but himself, and that's not to say that whatever has happened, I mean, whatever the political jigsaw puzzles that goes on among all these people. That's not to say that he wasn't treated in a shabby manner. But like Ovie likes to say, it is a game now. I mean, after all, they play the games among themselves. And the people are more or less like the pawns in all of this game. Now, that being said, again, it was a painful watch. And to say that it is not a factor is to be stating falsehood, because it definitely is. And if there's one state that actually is going to play into the hands of any other party at the disadvantage of the PDP, it will be Rivers State, because they actually vote a lot in Rivers State. It was surprised. I never realized it until a couple of years ago when I started paying a lot more attention. But that being said, I think Atiku is doing himself a disservice. Not that I care about him. I mean, he actually helps Obi, for example, as far as I'm concerned. So long may he continue. But that being said, I think in the final analysis, I would like to advise, unfortunately, Alaro is not here anymore. I would like to advise people like Alaro who are deep into the OB, those that are actually on grounds in a way, that as much as possible, they should already start focusing on things that have to do with what is agenda for the nation. Because, of course, like everybody agrees, they're going to try to throw all kind of things. Remember Operation Wete? What happened with Operation Wete? Those of us that were not born there that read about it, it's not today. Things like this started. They're going to continue. And of course, they're not going to end with things like Oloma Jakari, like Tinubu said in Yoruba the other day, Oloma Jakari Kalebo Kuni. Because, they're accusing, while they're busy accusing the Obi movement of being aggressive and all that, we know the kind of things they do as well. These people are established. They're used to they know this game. So I'll rest it there for now.
All right. So who is worried that Wike said, Ayu got 1 billion naira? Let me go to Raf, because Raf, I know you know Wike very well. So what is going on? I mean, if the PDP, if they go down, who will benefit? Go ahead, Raf.
Yeah, well, I think technically everybody will benefit, to be honest, because if there was no OB in the race right now, then it would have been 100% bad, as in it would be a total win for APC if PDP were to go down. But the good thing is that we have options, and the best option is Peter Obi. So Wike is fascinating to see. It's because I think since in 2015 we had different scenarios, but it wasn't as wild as the Wike scenario with You know, we had Atiku doing his own in the north. We had Rotimi doing his own in Rivers State again. So with cuttings, even up to cuttings and a whole bunch of things being stripped out of the government house. So yeah, Rivers State has produced quite a few entertaining characters over the time, except for Peter Odili, who seemed to just quietly all right, see y'all, bye. Since I'm not getting presidency, I'm walking away. So that's why he still Peter Odili. But yeah, Wike is that's why Wike has a lot of fans, because you hear people saying he talks like a strong man and all this and all that. But that's the guy for you. Once he doesn't get his way, he's coming for you with the bulldozer, and he's going to bulldoze as many structures in his path.
Now, let me come to you. I'm sorry. I'll come. Somebody left. Okay, Mazi. There's this story that came out of that media chat with Wike that Tinubu offered him senatorial position, and the next day he denied it. How is it that bloggers will listen to a video interview and get something wrong? What happened there? Who was wrong? Did Wike change his position?
Well, I mean, honestly, Rudolph, you know, you've been in this business for so long to know that there is a cliche being used in this business that is called quoting someone out of context. So it's neither here nor there. If he has come back to deny it, probably he's right. But again, if the writer has any atom of or if something that you can cite and it is said, then it stays. So I do not know the details of that particular interview where Wike either said one thing or the other. But I think if he said it, then it stays. If he's denying it, I mean, but Wike, you know, in the words of Asari Dokubo, he will always shout funny character, or, you know what I mean. You know, Wike Wike is there. But I think my good brother that talked about those that have governed the rivers. You see, I personally believe that rivers is unique. Maybe because of the oil, the suit that comes from the state and the SS money. Sometimes I think, you know, the latter is the case where you have, you know, I think Rivers is the richest state that received the highest allocation from the federation account. I beg, if you get exposure to that account, you and I sitting down here may no longer think right. I mean, on a very straight note here. So I think that's what the issue.
Do we know how much they take home as security votes in River State? Do anybody here? Do we know?
As what?
Security votes, the governor.
I don't think anybody will know what they would.
It's a secret now. You may only know.
I was. I don't know the exact amount, but I saw with my two eyes back when I was still in Port Harcourt. You know, I was under Odili's government when I was boy to. Yeah, because I was more like a boy to commissioner for special duties. It was my in-law. So I saw people's lives change when you were serving under Odili. So if that was people who were under the governor, young boys, and that's why I'm not crazy about youths being appointed into government. These were young men being appointed into the government, marry young ladies who were, I know one of them's wife was like 21, and I had to be calling her, yes, madam. I was greeting somebody that was older than us. Yes, ma. Like, chai, you know, poverty no good, but you know, it was why you see somebody's life change overnight. The River State got money. It got money. When in Nigeria, you have not seen money.
The truth is that
this was 2000 and this was way before. I'm talking of way back. It's not even now. So you can imagine now, but they were blowing money crazy then. So that was one I saw with my two eyes. Being just hanging around government people.
I would say that the truth is that ignore Wike at your own peril. You know, I lived in Rivers State all my life, and the Rivers election is going to be very dynamic. That's what I can say. I feel I know where it's going. The pendulum will shift in terms of Wike has nothing to lose in this election. He's crossed the Rubicon. He knows where it is. He's not. I don't think he will go away from his party. He says himself is a loyal party man, and he prides himself in that. And he knows that there will be another election cycle, and he's waiting for that cycle when it comes in. Because after this election in 2023, if Atiku is not in, then that party will basically be his party. So he's just waiting in the wings. The question is, he knows he has the governorship, and it's all about who takes the presidency. Where does the pendulum swing in that presidency? And then I don't think, although politicians can prove us wrong, I don't think Wike is somebody that is very pro-APC. I don't think in just the nature of Rivers politics, the nature of politics from the days of Ada George down to Odili, down, it's not geared towards giving it to the opposition. I just know that Rivers politics at the center, at the core, he's not going to give it into Rotimi Amechi. He's not going to. So it's going to be PDP for governorship election. I think it's a settled matter with Rivers. When I talk with my friends in Rivers State, I feel the ground. It's a settled matter. The presidency, not their business. But for governor, we know where we dey. So
okay, hold on. Hold on.
Is that thing I say?
Can I disagree with?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I disagree with you based on. I mean, you said something. You said Wike doesn't have anything to lose, but along the line, you said yes, a next election cycle, and exactly that's Wike's problem. But there's so many ways to look at what is happening in that PDB, but I will focus on the individual led by Wike, because politics is about self-interest. And if you listen to Wike rhetoric, even all this time that is speaking, it's all about me, how they made promise to me, how they disappoint me. So it's about me, so it's about self-interest here. Now, and if you look at where the genesis of all this game, when it begin to come up to the ordinary Nigerian, it's when the 17 clown, as I like to call them, the governors, came and say, presidency must come to the South. And that is a phrase that sold with the Southern voters out. But again, that is a vehicle they need to hold on to individual to keep going within the system. And if you look at them one by one, Okowa is the smartest among all of them, while Wike is the dumbest. Now, as the train move, they all begin to patch onto their personal interests. Okowa decided to say, well, this is the next step for me. I'm going closer to the power. Decided to work with Wike, and we go with the Atiku and the rest. Now, but if you look at them again individually, both the Makinde, who has another 4 years to be in the system, Autumn, who also is going for the Senate, another 4 years in the system, Okoeze, the same thing. My governor, Wike, Obaseki, I decided to take his pitch stand again with the Atiku by saying that if Ayu step down, them say go find their way. Now, among all of them, it's only Wike that does not have guarantee of to be in the system for the next 4 years. And that is what he is fighting for. Yes, he's adding on to the grievances that is already on the ground based on the presidency's more comes to the South. And Atiku led men, but already seen that this is all is about. It's not about the money that is accusing the chairman of stealing. It's about disappointment. No, it's about I've come this close to that number 1 seat by finishing second in my party. I can still do it again. And the only way that his personal dream can control is to still remain in the system, either indirectly by making sure his own person win the governor of Rivers State, or whoever that is coming, either through his party or his nearer party, he will stand a better chance. So it's all about him. He has everything to lose. We all know, if once you are cut out of the system, you are vulnerable. Anything can happen to you.
All right.
So, I mean, him as a person, they can do without him. But the state, they always have a way to walk around the state and get the voters go listen to them. But him as a person, they can do without him.
All right, thank you, Olivier. I want to hear from Omori. After that, we go to Tinubu, because there are 422 member panel. that he set up for the campaign, and we know that the vice president's name is not there. The secretary to the federal government is not there. OVS name is not there. You know, some important names are not there. So we want to talk about why people who are there. Omori, are you in the car? You're driving? I know that you know Wike, and I wanted to hear your view on the PDP and what's going on. OVS is in a cathedral.
No, sorry. Oh, sorry.
No,
Should I continue?
Okay, not you. Sorry, Omori. Sorry, Omori.
Omori is in a church.
He's in a church. Okay.
Omori is in the church. Let him pray for.
How is he going to be speaking from
Let him pray for Showori. Let him pray for Showori.
All right.
Let me say. Let me. Okay.
Go ahead,
the road on weekend PDP generally. I can only, every day there's a new development as time goes on. At least Wike, who is conducting the orchestra, is promising that he'll be releasing headline as time goes on, But one thing I want people to know, that is the way I look at it, is that there is this type of housefly called Odudu. I won't translate it. So Wike is like that Odudu that is perching precariously very bad on the scrotal sack of PDP. If you leave the Odudu and they ignore it and feel that after all it's nothing, it will suck you till you die and cause a lot of damage to you, be it uncomfortable. Then if you're not out of anger, a fit of anger, you want to smash the Odudu and kill the thing, then you do an irreparable damage to that vital part of your anatomy. So the way Wike is in PDP is strategic. It's strategic to the needs of P2B and Labour Party. So that is the way, because it's like what they call the unintended consequences. So Labour is benefiting heavily. We don't need to go to Labour don't need to go to Rivers State and start mounting campaign. What Wike is destroying PDP from within is enough to tell people that this is the guy to vote for presidential election. That's what I can say for that. Let's continue listening to Wike by the day.
All right. Omori, did the pastor say anything about who will win the election in Nigeria?
It's about what? About Wike?
No. Did the pastor say anything about who will win the election in Nigeria? You just came from church. He can hear me.
About who will win the election?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, certainly. I may not be able to predict exactly who will win. But certainly we know those that will not win.
No, Omori, I don't mean you. I mean the pastor. He just came out from church. I'm wondering if the pastor said anything about who will win the election in Nigeria.
Yeah, no, God revealed things to me. I don't know if Mazi is still here. I was the guy that called you 5 months to do election to tell you how Oshomole will be disgraced out of office and how Obaseki was going to win. If you can recollect vividly. It was so clear, it has not given me the message. When he gives me the message, I will come to the platform and let you know. For now, we may not be able to predict those that will not win, but we know certainly those that will not win. Those ancestors are not coming back. They are going into their political vehicle. Nigerians are walking up from their slumber. We are ready to send them to where they rightly belong.
Okay. All right.
The people Nigerians are...
Go ahead. I think there's yeah, go ahead.
Nigerians are suddenly walking up from their slumber. They are like wounded lions. You see, the difference between party politics and the revolution is when you send money from your headquarters, Abuja, goes to the state, from states to local government to wards, money exchange, and you try to encourage people. It has this kind of structure they talk about. You're trying to print billions, you share it down to the world, to the units and all that. But what is happening right now is people taking it as a challenge upon themselves to say enough is enough of this nonsense. Enough of this, shenanigans from our politicians. So this is why it is difficult for them. Whether they like it or not, they may want to pretend as if they don't know what is going on. But I can tell you for sure that there is an easy camp in their camps. In their coven where they hold their national meetings. It's no longer business as usual. That thing is as clear as ABC. So they will not come up and tell you, no, we're giving up. They will not give up because it's like trying to take away the sugar from their mouth. They will fight that to retain it. But Nigerians are saying enough is enough. But nothing can hold the people back who are determined to liberate themselves from the shackles and tentacles of this.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's listen to this. Oh, okay. I have a lot of people in the studio. It won't let me play the video. Hold on. Okay. Not. I will remove some of the videos. So I want us to move on to another major player in what happens in Nigeria in the next few months, and that is somebody that all of you know. All right.
How do we banish hunger? How do we improve the security and eliminate killing of one another, shedding blood of innocent citizens? That's what we must take to the office, not our religion. When the shortlisted names came, I look at the character, their background, and everything. Yes, somebody who's so brilliant, so committed, who are during the crisis of Borno protected Christians. My intention is clear, not on religiosity. My intention is to develop this country, to bring prosperity, and have better qualification, better track record, better exposure, better vision than any of my mates. Why do we want to stay divided? I'm standing before you, and I have the right to claim that I am one of the best friends of the Christian community in this country. Let's develop it.
So that was Bola Tinubu addressing Northern Christians. It continues to be a problem for his campaign, the issue of Muslim ticket. And the reason why he cannot ignore it is because of people like this.
The problem, and that our opposition to the Muslim ticket, because we think that it is a grand plan to introduce religion into the politics of Nigeria because of some of ambitious, self-serving leaders, politicians. If you look at it, as it were, Nigeria, in the north, we are now having all manner of crises. Insurgency, tribal conflicts all over the country. In my state, 2 years back, there was a full-fledged war between nomadic Fulanis and settled citizens of the communities. Thanks to God, this has been overcome. In Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, Katsina, there's a full-blown war between the Fulani nomads and the Hausa farmers. It's a full-blown war. Now, as it were, the North is involved in all manner of crises, all manner of civil wars. And we think that the introduction of a Muslim ticket or a self-fed ticket by APC is a wicked plan to further create divisions within the North. We've tried as leaders of the society to try to live as brothers and sisters, but out of the blues, this demonic proposition just came up, incited, unnecessary, but there it is. And for all lovers of unity in this country, for all lovers of unity.
So they are not playing. And we also know that the vice president, one of the reasons being put out there why he's not on the campaign is his opposition to this ticket. So, Mazi.
I don't know. When characters are dented, in my worldview, sometimes, you know, it kind of dents the message, the individual that is trying to push out. While I think for equity and fairness, sadly, where we find ourselves as it concerns religion, if the APC meant well, I do not see a reason why, if a Muslim is competent to be his VP, why shouldn't a Christian also be competent? But to the response of Babashir Lawal, while he was talking, my mind was still thinking of the grass cutting contract of invasive species, you know, and that scandal. And what somewhat, I didn't hear everything he said because at some point he was rewinding. I was just hearing grass cutting invasive species that was overgrowing the IDP camps, and hence he was eventually removed. But to Tinubu, who was saying that he is the best person, that he shouldn't, people should, you know, he fell short of seeing himself as he's seeing himself as a unifier. And I'm like, Oga, should we remind you of what happened in Okota in 2019? Those areas that election were cancelled, or rather ballot boxes by certain people were invaded. In those areas where, because there are certain people is believed to live in that area, and those things happen, and eventually after the burnt ballot boxes, no election took place, no rerun. I mean, let's not forget. And what has happened also in the last week regarding the planned 1 million man.
Now so big battery go die and eve to the election.
Tinubu people are what?
Tinubu people. All right, James. Let's hear from James. James.
You mean, okay.
Yeah. So we're talking about Tinubu and the idea that some people within his own party are refusing to join the campaign.
They should refuse because, well, personally, this what's it called? Muslim ticket should not generate problems, because if we still remember, I think Moshood Abiola's running mate was a Muslim. When Yakubu Gowon was in office, I can't remember who the vice head of state was. Was it Akinwale Wayne or David Ejo? I can't remember. They were both Christians anyway. There is nothing wrong with Muslim or Christian. But since Buhari took over government as president of the republic, a lot has happened. And there's this Fulanization agenda, which is disturbing everybody. He has not been able to put things under control, and all of a sudden is coming with a Muslim ticket. And to make matters worse, the other political party in the north, the PDP, is already a northern party. So it means that there's actually something like Fulanization agenda. If Bola Tinubu were a serious guy, there are a lot of reasonable Christians in the north who he can co-opt. Somebody like David Mark. That guy is good enough to be a vice president. Joshua Dogonyaro, Teofilo Danjuma, the likes of a late Obi-Datti.
You're going back to all the military people. Can't you find?
I know. That is true. I'm just citing examples of. Excuse me.
No, but David Mark is a winning strat. David Mark is a good option for him if you have gone ahead and do that.
But it's a PDP.
David Mark.
No, they can cross carpet. They can cross carpet. It doesn't mean anything. They've been doing it. Yeah. So the issue is that what's his name? Tinubu. It seems as if they forced this choice on him. From what I'm seeing, the Northerners, they want to be at the center of activity. They want to know what is going on in the inner caucus of government. So it's a Muslim who can do that job for them. And probably that is the reason why they chose Peter Obi's deputy, running mate for him. They want to know precisely what is going on in the inner circles of government. But however, from the look of things, it has backfired. It has backfired because I do not see how a reasonable middle belt man will get along with this Muslim ticket. And the middle belt has been very, very crucial in their grip on power since independence. If you look at all the big names from the North in those days, those big generals, majority of them were from this long-term mafia. And this is also one of the reasons why I'm not too happy with the middle belt. The Hausa Fulani hegemony, they've used them to oppress the South all along. They found nothing wrong with it while the going was good. Now the Fulani man is telling you, I am after your land. Let's go beyond eating and drinking. It is now that they realize that the Fulani man meant no well for them. So why should they solicit the sympathy of the South? But however, for peace to reign, let's see what we can do to address the situation.
Okay, James.
Bola Tinubu is a non-starter as far as this election is concerned. He is going to lose catastrophically.
Okay, James, last time you spoke, I know you made a reference and you said something about the House of Fulani and you put everybody together. And I always worry about that. It's not always good to say Hausa are this or Yoruba are this or Igbo people are this. You won't be happy if somebody uses one sector of the Igbo society to say this is how everybody.
You see, let me put it this way. When Obasanjo was head of state, he did not tell the Yorubas in Republic of Benin to invade the country. When I was living in South Africa, the Ndebeles, they are in Zimbabwe. They are also in South Africa. But when it is time to raid illegal immigrants, the Ndebeles from Zimbabwe are sent home. The Sutus from Lesotho are sent home. The Swatis from Swaziland are sent home. They also have their kinsmen in South Africa. Since this invasion started, how many Northerners have condemned the importation of non-indigens to cause mayhem in the country? Mention one.
So if they did it, wait, hold on. If they did it, does that mean
we cannot be holier than the Pope? We cannot be
hold on. James, hold on. The issue that Igbo people have with the coup of 1966 is that some Igbo officers with their friends decided to go and have a coup and kill some people. And the whole country turned around to say Igbo people are interested in dominating. And Igbo people said, no, this is not true. We don't like that comparison. We don't like that assessment. Here you are now making an assessment that because, say, let's say we agree with you.
Look, they are just talking out of anger. Let me cite an example of what happened in the West. When Aguiyi Ironsi was killed in the home of, what's his name, Adekunle Fajoyi. Fajoyi knew nothing about the coup or whatever Aguiyi Ironsi is doing. He's just a host of the head of state. You get what I mean? But it is Northerners who went there to kill an innocent man. Have they ever told the Yoruba man, we are sorry?
What are you talking about? Have they ever told? What are you? I'm trying to point out that you
see. Sorry, guys, gentlemen.
I cannot be holier. Excuse me. I cannot be more Catholic or holier than the Pope.
No, but you understand what I'm trying to say, James. I'm just trying to say that. Look, James, hold on. James, hold on. If I say now, James,
excuse me. People are trying to build the country.
You know, if this is wicked, he will say you're talking to the governor of River State. You're talking to the host of the show.
Excuse me. If it's just a minute or two,
you
saw the video just now where a man was running down the whole of the Igbo race. Now, if you vote for Peter Obi, you are voting for Biafra. Are you getting me?
Were you happy when he said that?
Well, I mean, this is the standard.
No. Were you happy when he said that?
Look, this is the standard.
Answer my question now. Were you happy when he said that?
We should stop pretending to be holier than the Pope.
No, wait.
Answer the simple question. Answer the simple question.
Were you happy when he said that?
Excuse me. We
should forget it. James, forget it.
No. You see, no, Rudolph, let me intervene here. When he said that, if you shouldn't vote for Peter Obi, he's a Biafran, He, went ahead and railed all manner of nonsense and rubbish that he spewed in that video. You are not happy. How do you feel the Reverend Father in Anambra State who said, if you don't vote for Peter Obi, you will be sent to Ugwuawusa, meaning to the north. When a northerner hears that, do you think he will be happy? What Rudolph is alluding to here is that we must be very careful and not to fall into the pit as described by our sister, the danger of single narrative. What I see happening in Nigeria is the total inability of a president, squarely, President Muhammadu Buhari, his inability to protect Nigeria. Yes, these things has been happening. The question is, would another person have allowed that to happen? He tells us these are people who they are not Nigerians. Of course, we know they are not Nigerian. They might be tribal Fulani, they might be tribal anything, but a patriotic Nigerian president will know, if these are my people, we have Igbos in Gabon, and if an Igbo man becomes the president, he tell me that Gabon come and invade Nigeria, and everybody will be looking at him. Come on. Let us situate the situation. And the situation is here. If we in the South, I'll tell all of us, one thing I do these days is to actually travel across Nigeria. When you go to the core north, I tell you today, Mandy, the man that was spewing that garbage and nonsense, cannot go to his village today. I can sit in the next 2 hours, get down to my village and sit down and drink palm wine. But he can't do it. He cannot go to his village and drink brukutu or frada. He can't.
In Kasina.
He can't. Yet they control power. Those that you think, oh, they brought, they just used to do, the same people that are threats to you are also threats to them. The people they rape are not you. But I think we need to understand this, that this is a security issue orchestrated by someone who promised you that he was going to lead from the front. When he comes to leading from the front, we are looking for him in the Zaza room.
Look, my friend, no, excuse me, let me make a point. I will try to be very brief. We all left Nigeria because of the hopelessness in the country. I don't want to go into my own history. Now, for a president, let me start a clear example. This same Buhari, some time ago, at the OAU conference in Addis Ababa, an Igbo man was contesting a seat.
James, I'll stop you. That story has been debunked. Okay, it's not the way it's written out there. James. But the question that we asked you, you moved away, and you're moving to other things. Omori, you are next.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Omori, go ahead.
Yeah, please. I just want to quickly respond to the issue of not vote for Igbo man, you voting for Biafra. I think these are modern issues. These are primordial sentiments. These are ethnic. These are the booby traps that have been set for us, over the years. We have to be careful so that with the current generation will not play into those booby traps. They have expired. They have overstayed their welcome. They are no longer relevant in the scheme of things. When they sit down to share our commonwealth, they don't play the religious card. They don't play the ethnic card. Tinubu has no problem with Ojikalu. Ojikalu has no problem with Shetima. Shetima has no problem with Saraki. So they sit down to share the load. When it comes to the people, they play the ethnic card to divide us. So that when we are divided, we are weaker. When we are weaker, we are deformed. When we are deformed, we cannot perform. Enough of this nonsense. So with this generation should not play into those booby traps. They have been set over the years as been working for them. Enough of this ethnic, religious sentiment. If we must move forward as a nation, this is the message that we should take down to Kano, from Kano to Maiduguri, Maiduguri to Enugu to my village in Ekpoma, from Ekpoma to Lagos. Enough of this nonsense. You should not allow it to fly anymore. Thank you very much, Dr. Damages.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Son
of God, welcome to the show. let me just say this for those who may be confused, the new role I'm playing. This is not Have Your Say. This is 90 Minutes Africa. So they are two different. They are philosophically different. On 90 Minutes Africa, you all are my guests. On Have Your Say is your show. You have your say. So I try to, when it's on this show, typically we have a guest, but today we have Mazi Ezeoke, who just left, and I tend to challenge people more to think about what they say more than you find on Have Your Say 9247. Son of God, welcome to the show.
Hello. Hello. Can you?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're having problems with your audio. Go ahead. Say something.
Use my head. My head.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Go on. So, what do you want me to talk about? Because
have you been watching?
I've been listening.
Campaign for Congress.
No, I'm not a VA Mark II, so I don't have time for Congress. Congress should be campaigning with Showore. Should be competing with Showore at this point in time.
Yeah.
Please.
Now,
apologies to those that support those people, but go on.
Okay, so for those of you who were here yesterday when we talked to Prince, go ahead, Ralph. You want to say something? Ralph, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to point out something that the gentleman said. Excuse me, the gentleman said who was addressing, who was pointing out his grievance with Tinubu, who was speaking on behalf of Northern Christians. He said that the Muslim ticket is introducing religion to the politics. And I think he's wrong on that, because we've always had religion in our politics. It's something that we act like is a today thing. But if we don't want religion in our politics, whenever we get to that restructuring, that a lot of people have different ways of wanting it done, that's one thing we need to remove. Separate the church from the state. Do it once and for all. Because as of the way Nigeria exists right now, or since the way it has existed since 1960, the church has never been separate from the state. And that means religion has always been a part of our politics. So, it's just that we've kind of avoided the Muslim same religion thing for a while because we're ruled by the military for a long time. But it's just that religion has always been there. And we had this gentleman agreement in place. But quickly over Tinubu's address, Tinubu is campaigning. We don't call it campaigning because it's Peter Obi that many people like to go after. But Tinubu was campaigning too. And he's not going to say I'm the worst candidate. He's trying to tell the people that I'm the best. So he has the right to call himself the best. So yeah, he's campaigning. But I just wish people who claim that it's only Peter Obi you are going after, you call it what it is and say the man was campaigning too. So that's all I would just point out.
Okay, now let me play this video before we continue. Based on what Ralph was.
We will survive every bad leadership. We will survive every criminal politician. We will survive every fake bishop. In the name of Jesus, Nigeria will survive and will be obedient to the word of God. Why are they shouting?
That man should be given a post on the campaign team of Obi. It's slick, it's good.
That's where he dropped it. And so like Rap was saying, it's always there. Religion and politics is always there. It's always there. And
now one person they practice the two. Wait.
But the question is, do you think you would have got that same reaction if he had said something, talked about the Kwankwasia movement or talk about another party? Do you think you would have got that same reaction in that church? I don't think so. The problem is that Nigerians have, don't know what to mean by home. Nigerians have been awoken. The consciousness of the country, they've been awoken. And that is what is going on. And that is why this kind of reaction, you're seeing that it's not something that people are controlling. So that is the problem. Nigerians have been sleeping for so long, but they're now awake. And people are still living in the past. People like Ovie, there are many people like him. I'm not criticizing him here. I'm not criticizing him. There are many people that still thinking the way Ovie is thinking. But Ovie is still thinking like the old guard. They are still hoping for the days of old where things were done the old way. But Nigerians have woken up, and they're not going to get it until the very end. But the problem is that I think this has caught them it has caught them unawares. They never knew when they started. Most of them were saying, "Oh, it's not going to last. Don't worry, it's not going to last." But the problem is that it's actually getting bigger, and that's the problem. It's like a tsunami. So they're waiting for you to dissipate. They're waiting for you to stop or to recede, but it's not. It's getting worse. So what are they going to do? I don't know what they're going to do now, because they've been hoping in their own way that it's going to stop, but it's not stopping. So it's like a moving train. You can't stand in front of a moving train. It's difficult, and this is the problem. So they will keep making excuses. They will start with the guy has no structure. From no structure, they will say, well, it's two boys in one room who are doing everything, and then from there they will come out and say, oh, they don't have any PVC. All these people on the road, they don't have any PVC. Are you even sure they have PVC? Where is your own APC and PDP match of people that have their PVC? Very soon they will ask Obi people to bring out your PVC and show us when you come to rally. So we see that you actually have. That's what they keep pushing the boundaries for Obi, for the movement. Yeah. They keep pushing the boundaries. It keeps going. Very soon, watch out. They will tell them, oh, they have to show their PVC. So we actually see that they can vote. They will never say the same for APC or PDP, who they're paying to appear. They will never say that. But for Obi, they will keep pushing the boundaries. They keep pushing the boundaries. They keep pushing the boundaries. It never stops. It never stops.
Can I butt in a son of God? The narrative started by first when people came out to register the new registration. They said those people were mainly online. When they now started doing rally, they said they don't have PVC. Now the narrative I've heard today again is that some of they won't. You vote. You don't vote for personality. You vote for party. That the logo is what will be on the ballot box, meaning that maybe Obedient will not be able to know the logo. While APC people or PDP may identify umbrella and broom, but the Obedience will be looking for Peter Obi's name on the ballot and they won't see. You know, that type of thing. So, you know, there's a lot of mileage to cover.
Yeah. Okay, it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop though. They'll keep pushing the boundaries. So just be ready. They'll keep pushing it.
Can I talk about Tinubu?
Yeah, we're going to round up. I want to invite Zaki. Zaki, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So you have the floor.
So you have the floor.
It's 7:52 p.m.
Okay. Zaki, you have all this.
Zaki, you have all these platforms.
Okay, you have two platforms on. Turn off one and then you can speak. Who else wants to speak there before we go back to Zaki?
Yeah, I was talking. Okay, if Femi wants to go, that's fine.
Hello?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Zaki, you still have to.
Zaki, it's 7:53 p.m.
All right, Femi, go ahead.
Zaki is obedient. Zaki is obedient.
Okay, just before I was trying not to forget something I was going to say to align with your question about Tinubu. So just so we don't lose something in translation, you mentioned something about the fact that the vice president was taken away. I mean, that's how it was reported, and that there was something that was.
Sorry, Zaki, I may have to remove you. Go ahead, Femi.
That it was Buhari that decided on.
Oh yeah, that was a smart way of presenting it.
And it was just fun. You know, when you read some stories, even before you get details, if there's any details to even go with, you know, it just sounds funny when you just think about certain things and you're like, okay, even though you might not have been privy to what may have been going on amongst them, it's like, do these people think everybody is a fool? You know. Now, I haven't said that.
No, wait, Femi, hold on. How do you think that conversation happened? Let me see if you are aligned with me. What do you think happened?
Now you're pretty much spot, but let me tell you what I quickly thought of before I even read the story fully. You know, there's airline and then there's whatever story, the juicy parts.
Wait, so tell us the story first.
The first part was, okay, it was the president, right, that decided to, on the campaign team, taking out the vice president's name, and I think it's the secretary of the federal government that was also taken out. But my first thought was, okay, first of all, I don't think they still take kindly to the fact that the vice president, remember how there was that back and forth about how come the vice president, who Tinubu happens to be his bread winner, his godfather, if you will, is trying to contest against him. So I don't think he would naturally have taken kindly to that. But let's even overlook that for the sake of argument. I was like, first of all, the president isn't it the head of that campaign team? I mean, technically, how come the reason that was given was because they wanted them to focus on the governance? Meanwhile, the president himself, after all of them have been junketing, the Nigeria has been on autopilot for a while. They didn't take out the president, who is actually the president of the country, but they're able to take out the vice president. I mean, that a lot of things don't make no sense, and it's the funniest excuse you hear. But that is Nigeria for you. Now,
all right, thank you.
Let me just add one thing, please. I think this is very vital. On the list, have you noticed? I don't think there's MC Oluomo on the list. I mean, I'm not going to say.
All right, thank you, Femi. Now, I just want to, I don't know if anybody
is a troublemaker. So
I don't know if anybody noticed what I noticed. Son of God and Gary look like the same person, but then I looked at one was smiling, the other one was not smiling. That was the only way I said, okay, they are two different people. I thought we are.
So there's
Gary, welcome to
Beavers issues.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rudolph. How are you today?
Good. All right. So I don't know when you joined us. We rounding up. We talked about several issues and from anywhere. What's your concern? Yeah.
Yes, of course. What I want to chip in is that at the moment in Nigeria political scene is very dicey, right? With all the movement, everything that's going on, right? And I should pray that we should be able to have an election in 2023 because of the antecedents of what is going on in the country. It's going to be tough, at least, to have a clear winner at the moment from what I'm seeing, because the big political parties like APC, PDP, they are not going to allow at least a young party or a fresh person to win outright, So there's going to be a lot of underground work. There's going to be a lot of fighting, right? And there's going to be a lot of destruction that's going to take place, probably to try to bad name the obedient group who are now the momentum in the country. And we should be very careful. We should be very careful how we talk, how we analyze things, because a single word can be able to spark violence. Just the way as I see people are interested, the interest of the people in this next election. So, and probably we have to look at it very well and mind how we talk. And even the leaders, the stakeholders in Nigeria should be able to mind their words, so that we can be able to have an election in 2023.
Thank you so much. James, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just I have a doubt in my mind that maybe somebody will be able to clear it. It still borders on this issue of religion. In the Bible, Psalm chapter 122, verse 6, King David said, "Pray for the peace of Jerusalem." For over 3,000 years, they have been praying. How peaceful is Jerusalem? So why should we take religion so serious when we're talking of political issues in Nigeria? That's the question.
I want to respond a bit to that and then just tilt to the Tinubu issue. Religion is always front and center of any society, actually, in terms of politics. There's no, from Europe Europe had religion and is still there. To any society, there's always that religious undertone mixed with the state. It's always been part of history, and we don't need to go through all that. So, but doesn't mean that there will not be still challenges that people will have to take their nation by their hand and navigate it where they expect it to go. So at the end of the day, there's always going to be religion, but how we work with it, with different diversities, especially our country, we have different people of different faiths, of non-faith, of atheists and all that. We must begin to rise above that and say, and that's one thing about this movement, that the Nigerians are coming to a consciousness that beyond all our diversities, we want a nation that works. Each one of us here would like to live in Dubai, and Dubai is a Muslim state. So at the end of the day, they may have that religion undertone in Dubai and Qatar and all that, but it's about the living conditions of the human life. So whatever religion and all that is becomes irrelevant when the pain of the people is what they are seeing. So this election is about that. And coming to the Tinubu issue, Tinubu, like I said, is reactional. This election was meant to be autopilot, two parties just running autopilot. But now what is happening is that they have to be reactional because the party they are dealing with is much, much agile in response, in movement, in everything. So that is the biggest problem for the Tinubu and Atiku and campaign. There are things that they are fighting internally and things. So with Tinubu, he's going to do everything he wants to do in terms of election. Like I said, he has, you can't wish him away. He's strong. He's politically strong. He has made a decision to go for a Muslim ticket, and he has to live by his decision. But it's going to hurt him big time. Like Babacha Lawa said, the Christian North is actually has felt a bit of the pain, and so they are going to vote most likely along those lines, and it depends on who is able to mop it. I saw a video that was played by Rudolph where it was at the Bodilon house where he was giving people, I think it was $1,000, I mean, 1,000 naira or something like that for stickers and all that. So we're seeing all those things because that is desperation. So when people are going out of their normal plan, they become desperate and many mistakes will start happening. So that's what I'm seeing in the APC campaign, that there's a lot of mistakes. He's having a lot of people. I mean, the vice president is not going to, that's just a funny scenario. But at the end of the day, Tinubu is going to run his campaign. He's going to face us. I know he's been trying to avoid facing the Nigerian people, but he has to one time. I don't think he will want a debate. I don't personally think he will want a debate. And it's not compulsory for him to be in a debate. So I think the two big wigs will try to avoid Obi in a debate. So having a debate is going to be difficult in terms of this election. So he's going to try to navigate all that waters as we go into this election. But like I said, and like the last speaker said, we just have to be in all our responses, religion, tribe, and all that. We have to rise above it. We cannot be dragged into that mud, because if we drag into that mud, the nation is very volatile at this moment. We need to avoid that.
Okay, Rudolph, can I give an answer to Mr. James?
Okay, go ahead.
Right. You quoted from the Bible, actually. So if you study the Bible very well, you know that when God wants to change a nation, it chooses his person, right? If you look right from the time of the primaries till now, how Obi left PDP, and if you actually understand the crisis in PDP and the crisis in APC, and how Obi was able to decide to leave PDP at an early stage, not to be a part of that confusion in PDP, right? And then decided to choose Labour Party. From my point of view, and then the support he received. In fact, when he declared himself to as a candidate for the Labour Party, and the acceptance from the youth I can say that it is the hands of God. Because if you look at the other political party, Obi is not the only young guy. It's not the only the most brilliant or the more articulate, and so on and so forth. I listened to Prince yesterday when he was on this program. He has a very good plan. He knows a lot of things and so on and so forth. But he's not getting that support from the youth, right? But Obi is getting that support. Obi has got that support. We had no reason for it, because I don't find any reason why he can be able to gather the support from the youth. How I can be able to explain is that he has the hands of God on him, right? That is why he was picked out. He was still in PDP, right? With the crisis in PDP and the crisis in the APC, I think that God is using it to create to open more doors for him to have a smooth sailing, right? And the crisis in APC and the crisis in the PDP will continue. The Muslim ticket is a big blow to APC, and Wike is willing to destroy PDP at any cost, right? So it's like a open door for him. It's just for him to sail on, which I think it is the hands of God. Because when God wants to deliver, God is like answering the prayers of the Christians and the Muslims. Everybody pray for the nation. It's like a prayer being answered by God, and he brought out somebody who was easily accepted by the most youths. The highest numbers of Nigerians are the youths, and we can see what is going on. And this momentum will continue till the election day. So I think it is a prayer of Nigerians that God have answered to bring out somebody probably of his own choice.
Anyway, I'm just asking the question because Jerusalem, we know today, is a city that flows with tears and blood. After 3,000 years of
don't
prayer.
compare to Jerusalem. If you read,
hold on, guys. I know it's Sunday. Hold on. Hold on.
Religion out of politics.
So James, hold on. When I say hold on, I will be talking like weekend now. This is the governor of River State. You guys are talking to. Zaki, welcome to the show. I know you tried to speak before. Try again. Let's see if the line is good.
If the line is good.
All right, Zaki, you say.
All right, Zaki, you say.
All right, Son of God, let's go to you.
I just wanted to.
I think Zach is still on. Yeah, I just wanted to respond to what my brother here, Gary, just said. I agree with most of the things he said, but when he says that there's no reason, you cannot find a reason why the youths are supporting Obi, I think I don't agree with that. Because the reason why Obi is getting the support he's getting, if Obi was, I'll give you somebody else, let me pick somebody from the East as well. If he was...
Ibazu is a good guy.
Okay, the former governor of Imo State, what's his name?
Rochas.
If Rochas was running, do you think he would get the same support from the youth? It's not.
My people.
It's not that there's no reason. That's a reason.
No. Don't misquote me. I said compared to other political party candidates.
There is no reason why they're supporting him.
Why he got the massive support from the youth. That's what I said. Obi before now, apart from the Anambra State, nobody knows that Obi, right? But the way when he came out, the massive support he received from the youth, it did not call for the youth. It did not campaign to the youth. In fact, it was like something that came out of the blues.
I agree with most of the things you've said, but the reason why I agree that it could be divine, because everything is, if you look at the way things are working out, 80% of what you said or 90% of what you said, I agree with. But the only thing I want to use to kind of reinforce your point is that the reason why Obi is getting the kind of support he's getting is that when Obi comes out and says, go and verify this, and people are able to go, you may think that everybody is not verifying, but there's a percentage of people, maybe 10%, maybe 20%, who are actually going to verify. Because you can't tell me that when he says go and verify, that nobody has ever verified anything. That's not going to happen. Many people have gone to verify, and they've seen that what he said is what is true. And that's what is making people are more convinced to follow him.
Son of God, thank you. So we are about to end. This is not have your say, so we have to round up. Today is Sunday too. So I will try to import something from have your say as we round up. I'll go round and I will ask you to tell me what keeps you up at night. We use that to round up the show for today. We can have an after show for people who want to hang out. You know, it would be a good thing. But Okija, welcome to the show.
So, sorry guys, I was enjoying the argument and just working on my computer, so I didn't want to come in. But when they started talking about I think Gary was saying something about P2B. He didn't see why they were supporting him. First of all, I don't know, maybe you guys, I don't know when you started paying attention. P2B actually, P2B, if he wins this election, he has to go and thank Ruben Abati. Ruben Abati, P2B has been going to Arise shows for for years now. Since like 3 years ago when I saw him, I said I was saying P2B will run for president in 2023. That's all. He was going there, giving his statistics, talking about all the things. Like almost every week he was there. So I knew he was going to run. And again, he is a good candidate. Some people are saying verify. Some of us have verified. Some of us, a lot of people know what happened. So you can't be saying that other candidate. I know Showore is there. Showore, I don't know him much. He's been talking, but he has not been practical. You have to do P2B. He did something, and then the situation now, everything came together. Now people are looking for alternative answers, and they saw someone who has done something, and he has been talking for 3 years, talking on the show. People are on internet, they are listening. It has gone into their ears now. So when it came, they were like, "Oh, that is P2B." So he started this thing like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. So it's not like an accident. Thank you. That's what I have to say.
All right. Thank you so much. I like that. This was very important to him. He had to come into. There are people who are waiting to come in, but unfortunately, we have to round up. So let me start with James. What keeps you up at night?
Please pass the question to another person.
So somebody else who is ready. Gary, let me start with you. What keeps you up at night? Let me go this way.
Many things. I do read a lot. So my preparation for the next day job keeps me awake at night.
Okay. Son of God, what keeps you up at night?
Well, mine is simple. MC Olomo taking the place of Usibajo on the campaign council. That keeps me up.
Wait. Is his name there? I don't even know. I've not looked at the names. Is it there?
Is MC Olomo not? Are you sure he's not going to be the vice chairman of the campaign very soon? Because the way Tinubu is going, he might become so desperate. They're making the vice chairman of the campaign. And that really keeps me up at night. Because that would be bloody.
All right. Omorie, what keeps you up at night?
Yeah, now that Nigerians are gradually waking up from their slumber, courtesy of the relentless effort of Showore and the other activists, no matter whether you like him or not, no matter where you see him, will you come here to say he has not done anything, has not prepared any budget, who is Showore, blah, blah, blah. What is happening right now is the seed sown by Showore. He going from one country, one continent to another, conscientizing Nigerians home and abroad, was the brainchild of Showore. So no matter how people try to relegate that guy to the background, the guy has paid his dues. Now that we have gotten to this point, a lot of people have dropped Biafra flags now, because they're hoping for something better. They're hoping for a Nigeria that works for everybody. My question, what keeps me up now at this moment? I'm happy that Nigerians have woken up. You cannot remove Showore for that equation. Another activists will be fighting tooth and nail. Some people now, everybody is almost like an activist. How do we sustain this tempo, whether it be wins or not? Nobody should go back, so that we don't allow our oppressors, to take over again. If we continue the way we are going, I bet you their days are numbered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Omori. And a very important point, because we are talking about the federal level. I want to see this kind of engagement at the state level. There are so many state governments that think that, like Niger State. Do they have newspapers in Niger State? I don't think so. Is there any opposition person in Niger State? I don't think so. Is there any, there are so many states that basically the governors do whatever they like, not to talk about local government areas where, anyway, we've got job to do, a lot of work to do. Okija, what keeps you up at night?
Yeah, I mean, I've been sleeping better, I hope I'm hoping that the election will hold. I'm hoping that INEC, all these things I'm hearing about, all the tricks, all the, back end, whatever, that it is not true. I'm hoping that the voters are registered, it's going to be cleaned up. If I don't know. So basically, I think this is my last chance in Nigeria. If it doesn't work, if this one doesn't work out, I will just, I'm gonna write my will. I want to be buried in the United States. I don't just forget about that country.
All right, that's a good one. CM, what keeps you up at night?
It's actually the cost of living in Nigeria, because I receive quite a lot of phone calls from people down there. Things are so expensive. The cost of kerosene has gone up. Petrol, sometimes you might not see. Diesel. Then you talk of what is it called? What is the latest they've just added? Anyway, generally, life there is becoming, the cost of living is high, the standard of living is falling. So it pains me that a country like Nigeria, that even at the very worst, people cannot be able to feed, and there are a lot of fake products that people buy in the hope that it will help their. So there are a lot. It keeps me up at where I work. I don't sleep. In fact, to be honest, I need people to look into it. The cost of living is high. Our people are suffering. If there's anything we could do to help them, let us do. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Conquest, so that was what keeps you up at night. Keeping somebody up at night.
Somebody said it's giving me sleepless nights. Now your sleepless night, no go ahead with that too. Anyway,
some of these people might drop. Don't you think so? Might drop or close their campaign and join. Anyway, let's still have a long way to go. Go ahead. Ovia.
Yes, still have a long way to go. What keeps me up at night? The fact that Tinubu is having a sleepless night keeps me up at night. Somebody said Osinbajo has taken over MCO Molo or whatever. Yes, it's good that you're having a sleepless night because of MCO Molo. And I think if the speculation is right that his name is not there, I think it's a good move. That's a sign of what to come. That means whatever atrocity is going to cause during the campaign period cannot be tied to the campaign organization or Tinubu himself. So if you look at it that way, I think it's a good move. But Tinubu, among all the front runner today as we speak, Tinubu is the only one that is having a sleepless night. He's worried. People are worried about him not coming to talk to us and all that. That's the least of his problem. That's not his problem. But you saw him went and I think for the first time, if you ask me, he's addressing the issue of Muslim ticket with our religious leaders in the north. That is because if you pay attention to what is happening, especially this week that is ending, when David Babachel came up and speak extensively about why they're actually against the Muslim ticket and who they are going to eventually pitch their tent with. Followed by that, Mohammed Sahad Abubakar III, that's the Sudan of Sokoto, actually was in an event too, and he made a very strong statement that religion cannot divide us. No religion can take any section of this country. I mean, along that line, that we should not allow one individual to use religion to divide us. That's a strong opposition to the Muslim ticket. But again, Tinubu, who is not a rookie in the game, I think he must have envisioned all these things along the line. And he swing to action too. First of all, who responded? The newly crowned leader of Southwest Presidential Council of Tinubu, which is Rotimi. He spoke up, even they're trying to, digress the direct response about how if we care that we might have a one nation, but we are having two rules. How are you going to allow people of Katsina to harm their their militia, then he cannot do that. He's going to go ahead, and that is a direct shot to the the executive, which Osinbajo belongs. So if he's not seeing his name there, that's Tinubu has becoming to realize that his inability to penetrate the Northwest at this point is dangerous for me. It's like it's going to take him out of the game. He needs somebody from that region. He needs to be able to also be gaining ground the way PDPs are gaining ground in the Northwest. He's lacking that, so that's keeping him awake. Yes, and the fact that the leader of that zone, as we speak, is still the executive, led by the president himself, but he's not going to be. I don't see him that active on the campaign train. But people like the Malami and co are not saying anything. So that's the message that he's getting, that these people they're not going to support him. I don't expect them to support him based on how he got the ticket and what he has been doing since then. If we say Wike doesn't have respect, so goes to Tinubu. A man who does not have respect for a constitutional authority like that, the office of the vice president. We see what he did. Made seconds after I clinched the tickets. The same thing goes to the Senate president. We see what he did even in the middle of his speech. So this man belongs to that top, the Asu Rock Aba. They are all chained from that direction, including Amachi himself. So he's the one at the biggest tail of all these things that is going on. He's having a sleepless night. How do I get? Because if he doesn't have any headway in the Northwest, he should kill the presidency goodbye. So a lot of things that is happening to that, and that we can actually see tied to the, because to me, I think he expected that the religion would die that before now. But unfortunately, we are carrying it to the campaign train. So it's going to be a very interesting campaign within the next 2 to 3 months. A lot is still going to happen.
Yes.
So
yes,
I'm just having a sleepless night monitoring
James.
those people.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ovie. James, what keeps you up at night?
Actually, I think coffee is capable of keeping me up at night. But the issue is, there's a saying, I think somewhere in Nigeria, I can't remember, that the child that says the mother will not sleep, that child will also not know sleep. So Nigerian problems cannot keep me awake at night. So that's it. It's only coffee that can keep me awake at night. Once I go to the bed, once I crash on my bed, I sleep comfortably. Nigeria cannot keep me awake.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for thanking me.
All right. Ralph,
Mr. James, I should take you up on that briefly. Now, una benefit for Nigerian pass. What in Nigeria as a state, who benefited? You guys went to free education, into free schools and all that. But now you just decide to say you are not.
Excuse me. The issue is this. There's no way you can put up with an immoral situation without getting yourself contaminated. This is why I walked out of the country.
Yeah, I think my question is that you guys, now the kids are eventually wake up and say, well, no, these things are not making sense. Instead of you guys to be coming with all your old energy and experience, you are saying nothing concerns you, go sleep. Now only coffee go keep you awake. You guys leave us on the street.
Excuse me, my father, my section of the country, we've contributed more than necessary to keep the country going. If those who are benefiting from the contribution are the same people dragging us down, what do you want me to do? To die for Nigeria? It's not possible.
All right, thank you. Ralph, what keeps you up at night?
Yeah, so first of all, everybody watching, if you didn't like this video, make sure you give it a like, because you have to support Rudolph. And if you have spare dollars and euros, not spare, in fact, the money you send to your second girlfriend and all that, send it here, send it to Rudolph. I know some of you have secret families out there, so yeah, give it to Rudolph. But yeah, I don't, honestly, I like my sleep, so I'm not sacrifice my beyond. So a few things. Cost of living is high all over the world. We have protests in Sierra Leone, we have protests in Ghana right now, we have protests in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. So yes, I understand Nigeria's issues too, because I have people there. I get reports every day. So it's not that I don't empathize, but we must always remember that we're not alone in the universe. Trevor Noah once said that I have not seen a fight that was ended after religion was thrown in. I'll leave that one for the people who need to know that. A lot of misinformation is out there. We have chaos agents working overtime. But one thing that gives me hope is that many Nigerians, especially the younger ones, are no longer buying the misinformation nonsense, as I call it. And that gives me a lot of hope today, because I see a lot of things that they are doing with their organization, with their planning, and they're not buying the misinformation that I keep hearing. So, yeah, it gives me a lot of hope for the future. No matter who our candidates are, we must be careful not to embrace xenophobia, no matter how sweet it sounds. I've made some mistakes on this platform, and I'm sorry if I've made that mistake before. Not if I've made a mistake or one or two mistakes in the past, but xenophobia comes in different ways or form. Sometimes we attack, we think the enemy is just one tribe, and then we attack everybody without realizing that we are attacking people who, the same way we get mad when it's our own people that gets the same application is applied to our people. Then we start getting angry. Then we forget that we are doing it to other people in the name of, So I've seen it in other African countries, and I've talked to people from other African countries. And when you start doing that, you start realizing that, yes, there's a lot of xenophobia that we have in Nigeria. It's very high. It's very big in our online spaces, and we should be careful. Finally, Nigeria happened to Peter Obi, and he survived. I think that is the biggest thing that resonates with Nigerian people. If you want to find out why a lot of people resonate with that man, is that we saw it happen. I was in Nigeria when he was a governor. I was living there. I was a very skinny person. And yeah, we saw one person who Nigeria happened to, and then he came back and became governor. He wasn't supposed to win, and he won. And you don't see that type of story. And he came out, there's no newspapers printing, did he steal this, or did he not steal this, or did he do this and that? You know the facts. Nigerians resonate with that kind of story, because how many people running for president, you see their skeletons. So it's easy for people to resonate with what he's saying, because there's a starting point where people can say, he started from here, we start from there. That's why it makes more sense than any other person, even with Shaware, who are liked in 2019, but they can't really resonate with that, because they don't understand when, yes, he was in college, university, when Nigeria happened to him, but many people cannot resonate with that story. It does not, but they saw a man in office, they saw it come, the attacks happen, and it makes sense to the people that, okay, this is somebody we can give a chance. So I don't need to call myself an obedient, because I don't believe in titles like that, so, but that's the man I resonate with, and it makes sense why people support him from the north to the south, because I know people still claim on this platform that no northerner supports him, which is a lie. I've seen it, and I know people in the north who support him. Thank you. Keep supporting Rudolph, and thank you, Rudolph, for this platform.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back on Sunday next week.
Sorry, Rudolph. One last thing. Your episode on my show will be coming out first Wednesday in October. Yes, Rudolph was a guest on my show.
So Wednesday in October. Okay, maybe you can give us
Rudolph, you're skipping me, eh?
Oh yes, I was wondering if you skipped Sydney.
Oh, what happened? Let me explain.
He's obedient. He's obedient. That's why.
Let me explain something people may not know. When someone leaves, so somebody comes in, he moves the arrangement. So I may have, sorry about that. Go ahead, Sydney.
I think you are keeping me awake, so that's one of the persons keeping me awake.
Thank you.
I would say that one thing is it's a new Nigeria. For me, it's a new Nigeria that we had lost hope, but somehow there's a flicker of hope that we can. There are possibilities that can be again. The possibilities. Seeing the young people beginning to rise again is like there can be hope again, because we are coming to a place of apathy. So that is one of the things, and that my also concern is that let Nigeria, taking off on what Ralph said, let Nigeria not happen to this election. because, you know, there's always this concern that, yes, we are going there, but on election day, hope Nigeria will not happen to the results. Hope Nigeria will not happen to INEC. Hope Nigeria will not happen to the political structure of the people. You know, those are the things. And then to think of the Rwandan story where there was this ethnic bigotry, religious bigotry, Hutus and Tutsis killing themselves overnight, a genocide, and how a nation came back from there and decided to move forward beyond their differences, to forgive and to see that Rwanda should be bigger than any of us. And today there's a Rwandan story. And one of the things I think of is, can Obi become the Lee Kuan Yew of Nigeria? He has history riding on it. If he becomes president, it will not be a presidency of a few, but a people. And that maybe he will begin to chart a new course for us as a people. That globally, as we are all in different parts of the world, as Nigerians, why we're here this time at this moment is because there's something within us that feels that there can be a new Nigeria. So I pray that he can be our Lee Kuan Yew that set a course. He can set a course again for this country. He's not going to be a messiah. I think everybody knows that. But he can set a course, and we can know that maybe we build the foundation, the walls, and then we can see, you know, Nigeria, maybe not in our whole lifetime, but we can know that history books will write about this time and will remember us. So
all right.
that's what I think
Thank
about.
you, Sydney. Thank you so much. You rounded it up. Before we go, I want to play a video. I just got it from Obi's visit to Kano yesterday. I know that by next week, that won't be what we are talking about. There will be other things that will happen. So let me just play a little bit of that video, and then we'll round it up. Let's see if I have it. Will be in Kano. All right. So, well, you know the way computers set up things. So be in Kano, I can find it anymore.
Maybe
Okay, yeah, I got
maybe
it.
Kwankwaso is affecting it because he's Kano.
Carry me they go, Obi carry me they go to New Naija. Carry me they go, Obi carry me they go to New Naija. Carry us they go, Obi carry us they go to New Naija. Carry us they go, Obi carry us they go to New Naija. For a new Nigeria, United Nigeria.
All right, that's a little bit of that. I didn't watch it before showing it. I didn't know there was a music playing. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Ralph, thank you so much for being here.
I wrote off one question.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
How do we get your notification when you are coming online?
Okay, yeah, that's what I just told somebody. You can send me a private chat here. I will add you on the list. We are here on Sundays and Saturdays. Saturdays at 11, Sundays 11:30 New York time.
If you
can get it automatic.
YouTube, you can just press.
You can get it. You can get it a day in advance if you are a Concosia.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You can also subscribe to Dr. Damages.
I don't know about the Kwankwasia people. Just
so if you subscribe to the
YouTube
channel, then you get it. You get it
automatically.
I have already subscribed to the YouTube channel already.
Okay, so you should be getting it.
Yeah, hit the there's a bell.
Yeah.
I know that.
Okay, is the Concourse still in the race?
Oh, very much in the race. Very much.
All right.
Very much.
James, thank you so much for being here.
When is he coming to Edo State? When is he coming to Edo State?
Hang on. I thought they've privatized. I thought they've privatized the NNPP.
Anyway, yeah, thank you for being here.
I thought they privatized it.
Thank you so much for being here. Okay, Janopita, thank you for being here. Raf, Gary, thank you for being here. Son of God, thank you. Omori, thank you. Sydney, thank you. And we'll see you next week with a new guest.
Mr. Moruji, where are you?
Oh, yeah, so double, sir. Double, bro.